sticky, dangerous. This Florida team feels they are just that. A group of dangerous Gators loaded with new talent and veteran-developed stars. But they are up against it today. This may be the best Miami roster we've seen in years. A big signature opening week win awaits one of these rivals.
We are ready to start this most anticipated season in history.
It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better than ever.
Give me my theme music.
Yeah, I got a tombstone head, a graveyard.
We're all in this together, man.
We go kick their ass by how we play. Let's go.
Got the good time music.
All the energy you could ask for.
Pageantry, color, tradition. These are the ingredients that make college football unique.
Launches to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
A fourth and a mile.
Can you believe this? 30, 20, 10. He won't be caught.
I want football. You want football. Everybody wants football.
This place is going bananas right now.
7 miles of barbed wire. Got a smooth for a necktie. A brand new house on the rural side. And it's made out of rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new tin that never been on time. And it's a made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, baby, and tell me who do you love? Yeah, who do you love?
I don't know about you, but I love college football.
This is about as good as it gets if you're a college football fan. Oh, and do we love this right here. It is the SEC on ABC. And this is what it looks like when deep-rooted rivals who infrequently meet up finally play a game with so much on the line. The swamp is filled, a sellout, and it is roaring with energy. As we say good afternoon, everybody, Joe Tessitore, as always, with my partner, Jesse Palmer, and welcome to the Bud Light kickoff on a day where it was just roasting this afternoon. I mean, it's roasting in the sun here in Gainesville. This tradition-rich, legacy-defining 3:30 prime window in the college football day. Fittingly, it begins at the Swamp, a rivalry you played in. And isn't it interesting with both coaches facing incredibly unique pressures?
Yeah, two storied programs here, national championships, Heisman Trophy shared between them, and I think both trying to get back to dominance. But this game here today, Joe, really is a tone setter for, I think, both of these programs this year. The Florida Gators play the toughest schedule in all of college football. This is a game they have to win to start fast. Miami is very talented. Their schedule may be a little bit more manageable. A lot of people think today's game is the toughest test on that slate. They'd love to win this one. It is a very intense rivalry. I know it firsthand. Don't play each other every year, but when we do, things get amplified. And you're going to see that today.
Hey, I want to get into the Miami quarterback Cam Ward because he has impressed at his other stops in college football.
Coming out of Washington State, he was the best quarterback available in the portal, and there's a lot to like about him. He is elite. He does such a good job anticipating throws. Here's a simple curl route at the top of the screen. Cam Ward begins to throw this ball way before the receiver turns around, and what that does is it gets the receiver possession with 3 yards so that he can make a move, make a guy miss. He ends up scoring on that play. He's also very poised. You got a deep cross here against Oregon. Cam Ward wants to scramble to throw the football. He's very athletic, and once he makes the defender miss, he doesn't panic. He gets his eyes right back downfield, locates his target, and look at the location of this throw. You simply can't do it any better. Cam Ward is a great leader. He's extremely poised, but Joe, he's never played in an environment like this here in the Swamp. How he handles the crowd noise, I think, goes a long way in finding out whether or not Miami can win the game.
Bud Light Spotlight focuses on his great receivers he has. He has weapons.
Unbelievable talent across the board. There's a matchup problem everywhere you look here, Joe. Whether it's Restrepo in the slot, George outside, Brown comes over for Houston. He can take the top off your defense. The secondary for the Gators defense, they are going to have their hands full today.
Hey, Florida has weapons too. Dynamic receiver, solid at running back. But the veteran quarterback, Graham Mertz, it all goes through him.
It's a good point, Joe. I really think quietly last year, Graham Mertz had one of the best seasons in the country at quarterback. He was very accurate, did a great job not turning the football over. He gives this football team a confidence. And Joe, we may be in for a quarterback duel here today. You might not see the ball hit the ground very much in the passing game with these two guys slinging it around.
These Gators have won 34 straight home openers, but this schedule may be the toughest task in the modern era. Our well-hyped showdown in Gainesville brings the teams onto the field when we come back to the Bud Light kickoff. Joe, Jesse, and Katie back here at the Swamp. The SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King. This is Modelo Kickoff Week. Florida and SEC blue blood filled with tradition. Among the great game day moments is the cheer led by Mr. Two Bits. And this week, the honor of Mr. Two Bits goes to an all-time great Gator, Javon Curse. Jesse, an old teammate of yours.
Yeah, thank God he was a teammate of mine. I didn't have to play against him. They called him the Freak for a reason. He still looks good, Joe. Look at him. He still looks like he could terrorize quarterbacks on Sundays.
There's Curse, as you just saw.
I don't think a Two Bits has ever filled the shirt out
No.
the way Javon Curse has today. Looks a little different.
A man nicknamed the Freak. Let's take it in.
Let's keep it going there.
1998 SEC Defensive Player of the Year and Super Bowl champion Gator great, the Freak, Javon Curse.
The Freak looking to bring some good luck to his beloved Gators. Let's say good afternoon to Katie George.
Well, Jesse knows better than anyone how loud it can get here at the Swamp, thanks to 90,000 avid fans who are patiently waiting to say hello to Miami quarterback Cam Ward. This will be the largest crowd Ward has played in front of up until this point in his collegiate career. And he knows that's the narrative coming into this game. Can he handle the moment? Can he handle the atmosphere? But his unfazed alpha demeanor is exactly why Mario Cristobal went into the portal and got him. He's described as a calm, calculated leader who galvanizes his teammates. Cristobal says the bigger the challenge, the more he excels, and boy, does he got a big one in front of him today, guys.
Does he ever? Past 2 seasons at Washington State. Of course, these two are rivals, but you don't see them on the field every year. Only the 4th time in the last 20 years. Of course, they met up every single year from 1944 to 87. And boy, do these fans like to chirp at each other all off season long.
They do. You and I both live in South Florida, so we heard from all over the place, but certainly no love lost between these two historic programs.
One of the all-time greats. Now, we were on SEC Nation with Timmy this morning, and here he is coming out to the field. Tim Tebow, number 15, one of the 3 Heisman Trophy winners in Florida history. Of course, Steve Spurrier spent the better part of the last hour with us up here.
He did. He came by, had a nice little visit with the legendary coach himself, taking us down memory lane.
What a memory he has.
Yeah.
And what a magnificent moment for these fans to see if Florida can all of a sudden deliver, and all the promises of that man, Billy Napier, his 3rd season with the Gators. And as the Canes get ready to make their way out for this rivalry. Florida won the most recent matchup. That was in 2019. As the Canes are headed out there, ready to take on this challenge. And if you spend a lot of time talking to those around the Miami program, they know they have a roster capable of a very special season. But the roar comes from the home fans. They are stepping into it this year, playing the hardest schedule in the country. A brutal stretch of games that begins with this tough task as we go to the studio to say good afternoon to Kevin and Booger.
Yes, thank you so much. Back here in the studio, the SEC on ABC. You can feel the environment. You've played in the swamp. You understand the environment. You also understand the temperatures, 91 degrees just before kickoff.
I don't think the temperature is going to be that much of an issue. Miami and Florida, both in the state of Florida. But when that building is right, Kev, it's almost like the fans are on top of you because the stands are close to the bench. So you can turn around and you can literally hear the fans saying things about you. And you don't think that affects a 17 to 21-year-old? It does.
Okay, but Cam Ward is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Season coming in, very talented roster, one of the more talented rosters in the country. We have said that about Miami, it feels like, for the last few years, but they need a play caller. What do you need to see from Cam Ward in this environment?
Can Cam Ward do what he did at Washington State in this game against a tougher opponent? And for Miami in general, it's going to be about the transfers, Kev. Cam Ward from Washington State, Damian Martinez from Oregon State, Tyler Barron from Tennessee. Those are three big playmakers that have to show up. But if you're Cam Ward, realize that the moment is not too big. You've played against high-level opponents out in the Pac-12. Now, can you come in the SEC, in an SEC building, and do it against this team? If he does, Kev, I think this is a national showcase. And I'm going to throw a little prediction out here.
Okay.
Cam Ward launches his Heisman Trophy campaign today in the Swamp.
Okay, and this is the first time a ranked Miami team will face an unranked Florida team since 1959. What do you need to see from Graham Mertz at home?
He's got to make plays, Kev. He's got to get the football to Eugene Wilson III, his receiver. They got to be more explosive. But more importantly, on defense, Kev, they were ranked 75th on defense, the Florida Gators. They gave up almost 28 points a game. If you're Billy Napier, the offense will take care of itself. You have got to stop and play people on defense.
Billy Napier, Mario Cristobal, both assistants at Alabama under Nick Saban a decade ago, both needing wins today in the Swamp. Enjoy it. We'll see you at the half.
You're watching Modelo Kickoff Week.
They really want to get after each other.
We want to beat them, and they want to beat us.
They thought they could beat the Hurricanes. Be for real.
No love lost between these two teams.
I know there's a ton of juice and excitement.
They understand the magnitude of the game.
So here we go. Miami and Florida. And Mario Cristobal, who's been on a roll of talent acquisition, but he'll tell you he's filled the locker room with like-minded, high-character guys. Says this is a group that really wants to work hard and play to a certain standard. Miami won the toss. They elect to defer.
Talking to both coaches, Joe, coming into this one, you could feel the intensity, couldn't you? I mean, this is a game that features two Power 4 opponents and rivals. This isn't a Group of 5 opponent, an FCS opponent. You got to go right out of the gate, and the intensity is something you can just feel here at kick.
And the other thing you can feel is the sweat dripping off of your forehead. It is hot. It is a sun-soaked hot day here in Gainesville. 92 degrees, 60% humidity. Feels like it's 100 degrees.
Milk was a bad idea.
It was. Jaden Ball is the sensational true freshman who's going to be the return man for Florida if he gets a chance to return, because the talented leg of Andy Borregales, first-team All-ACC, Lou Groza finalist, will be ripping away to kick off the SEC on ABC. Welcome to it. What do you say we do this here at the Swamp? And Graham Mertz will trot on out for his second full year at Florida. Jesse, a year ago, a lot of checkdowns, but a lot of good decisions to lead the SEC in completion.
Yeah, he's a six-year senior, Joe, transferred over from Wisconsin. And last year, that accuracy was just off the charts. Third in the nation, completing 73% of his throws. Now, he did it from the pocket. He did it to all three levels. He can do it outside the pocket as well. And he's facing a Miami secondary that replaces 4 of their 5 starters on the back end. So a little bit of inexperience in games back there. If Florida can keep Graham Mertz standing upright, he's got a shot to have a big game.
Montrell Johnson starts in the backfield with him. Mertz's 44th career start as a college quarterback. Mertz quick to the outside to the very talented Trey Wilson, the most explosive player on the Florida team by far.
He is their most dynamic weapon on offense, Joe, and he really came on at the end of last year. 5 touchdowns in his last 5 games. They lost Ricky Pearsall to the first round to the 49ers, so Trey Wilson now becomes the go-to guy. And in this game, you're going to see him lined up all over the field. They are going to try and get him as many touches as possible.
11 yards to Wilson. Play action. Off the orbit motion as well, and now Mertz is going to run it, and fortunately, he slides.
Well, you say that because he got into a problem last year, constantly trying to take defenders on. Actually injured his clavicle late in the season against Missouri, a game that we called, Joe. They just need him to make better decisions. So here on the second play of the season, nothing's open. You tuck it, you get upfield. Very smart decision. Not taking the hit from Jalen Alderman. Just get down on the ground.
Yeah, broke his collarbone last year, didn't need surgery, was back for spring ball. 2nd down and 6. Johnson can't find anything, just maybe a half yard. Our impact players are brought to you by Home Depot.
We talked about Trey Wilson from the Gators. Montrell Johnson has led the team in rushing the last 2 years at Florida. He's got a new number this season. He's going to carry it a lot. Kiko Maui-Noa, to me, is the heart and soul of the Canes defense. Does everything for them and can run. And how about Ruben Bain Jr.? He is a terror coming off the edge, and that's a guy that this offensive line from the Gators, they have to be able to account for.
He was the ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. Third and 5, tap pass, Wilson struggling to find anything, and how about that front of the Canes as they come up with the big stop on 3rd down.
That's a great play by Elijah Olsen, the transfer from Marshall, coming off the edge. He didn't make the tackle, but he missed the play. And that time, Miami had a bunch of guys mugged up. You're going to see him just shoot off the ball right here. Beats the block. He beats the puller. And that forces Trey Wilson to have to slow down, and Miami able to corral him. There is so much athleticism in this front for the Hurricanes, Joe. They went to the portal. They brought in a lot of bodies that we're going to talk about throughout this game. You saw one of them there in Alston.
Jeremy Crawshaw from New South Wales, Australia, to punt away to Ray Joseph. They'll catch at the 16-yard line. Cam Ward, the new star at Miami, but it didn't start that way in his path to get here. He was grossly under-recruited coming out of high school. Ended up playing FCS ball at Incarnate Ward in Texas. He was excellent there, found his way to Washington State for a couple years, and was the big target in the transfer portal.
Nobody knew who he was coming out of West Columbia High School in Texas. Everybody knows who he is now, though, Joe. 14,000 plus career yards. They believe with a better skill set around him and offensive line, he can take him to the next level. You're already hearing the crowd noise, though. This is something that he has to get used to very quickly in this game.
Here's Damian Martinez. Damian Martinez, speaking of the transfer portal, and look at the drive by the offensive line. He was the star out of Oregon State who came to South Florida.
And he's a 230-pound running back, Joe, that feels right at home running between the tackles. Very comfortable in this zone scheme, and he's the kind of guy that can wear a defense down.
Now they're going with tempo. Remember, there's the coach-to-player communication in the headsets this year. We saw a slower pace of a game in Week 0 in Ireland between Florida State and Georgia Tech, but here a little bit of tempo as he goes ahead on 2nd down. Impact players brought to you by Home Depot.
Talked about Damian Martinez. Xavier Restrepo in the slot is just a monster. Set a school record for catches in a season last year. Jordan Castell started 11 games as a true freshman a year ago. He's a leader on the back end. They need TJ Searcy to be a force coming off the edge, rushing the passer.
They go underneath with the quick pitch to George. Jacoby George wrestled down just near the line of scrimmage by Pup Howard, the middle linebacker out of Jacksonville.
And Pup Howard's a big pickup. We talk a lot about the portal. He's coming over from South Carolina at 6'4", 240 pounds, very rangy and very athletic. And that was a nice job of finding the football. There was a lot of eye candy in front of him with guys in motion, but he's able to go out and make a real tough tackle against a really good player in George.
Empty look on 2nd and 8. Ward's going to run it himself, and he's got a lot of room to just jog ahead and coast out for another Canes first down.
Well, it's going to be critical that the Gators do a good job with their pass rush lanes and everybody staying home. This time you're going to see players loop inside, and right away Cam Ward feels that, and as soon as he sees the rush from Shamar James, middle linebacker, he's off and running.
12-yard run from Cam Ward. Martinez looking for an opportunity and then picks that hole to get out to the 44-yard line.
You know, this is a physical running attack from the Miami Hurricanes, Joe. They're a big offensive line. They're running it right at you, and they love to run it right between the guards. There is no mystery. Last year they ran for 130 yards a game in between the guards. That was most in the country. So they're going to challenge this Florida defense in their front seven to see if they can step up and stop them.
2nd and 6. Ward spins to his left, looking for an opportunity, directing traffic, and what a catch and effort by Restrepo to come back to the ball and make that grab and move the chains again.
Man, and you know Mario Cristobal was holding his breath because that's the cardinal sin as a quarterback. You're rolling to your left, you throw it back across your body to the middle of the field, but there's Restrepo, one of our impact players, making a very difficult grab behind his back. That is a huge play early for the Canes.
13 yards to Xavier Restrepo. Play action. Ward with time. Now darts ahead. Gets free. Looks behind and strides clearly out of bounds just inside the 20-yard line.
Well, that's another example of the Gators getting out of their rushing lanes. Derek Wingo is sitting in the middle of the field at linebacker. He's trying to watch Cam Ward's eyes. He just becomes impatient right here and runs, and as soon as he does that, you're seeing the poise of Cam Ward. Nothing open downfield. He just feels the rush lane. Gets a nice block by his left guard, Ryan Rodriguez. Off to the races. You know, he has a nonchalance about him. When you watch the body language of Cam Ward, it's not that he's disinterested. He's just always cool, calm, and composed.
The other big back, Mark Fletcher, comes in for the Canes after that 24-yard run by Cam Ward. Fletcher gets the call, tries right tackle, but is driven back. He was pushed back by Tyreek Sapp.
This is the start I think Miami wants in this game, Joe. Obviously, you want to go down, you want to score points early, you want to create some momentum, but any chance you get early in the game to take this crowd at the Swamp out of the game, you want to do that. So this is a really important moment here, down in the red zone now early for the Miami Hurricanes.
Second and 10, three-man pressure. They drop 8 against Ward. Ward, look at all the time he has. Drifts all the way back to the 40-yard line before he throws it downfield and out of bounds.
And that is an absolute coverage sack that time. 8 guys dropping back, nowhere for Ward to go with the football. That time, the Gators stayed in their rush lanes. They only rushed 3, but Tyreek Sapp right here did a really good job of just staying outside. He wasn't going to let Cam Ward break contain like he has a few times earlier on the drive. Really nice adjustment, and now 3rd down. This is where the crowd noise again becomes a major factor.
A sold-out Swamp, let it roar, 3rd and 10. Ward tried to check down Arroyo wasn't anywhere near it, and the defense does their job, but we are going to check on a flag back at the 33. ACC-led group of officials with Marcus Woods as our referee.
Personal foul, the roughing the passer, defense, number 1, at the distance of the goal, first down.
That was Justice Boone. Yeah, he's the guy that got the pressure on Cam Ward. You're going to see here is he's just kind of throwing this in the ground at the feet. He's got to be able to let up a little bit. It happened right in front of the referee, and Billy Napier, he cannot believe it.
Defense was going to be walking off the field, and instead it brings it ahead to what is a 1st and goal. And costly penalty by Boone. Short pitch, Martinez. And he was tracked right down the line as he was brought down by Caleb Banks.
I think in the run game, Joe, you can see the athleticism that Florida has in their front 7. These defensive linemen, they're able to disengage, go hunt the football, and linebackers, they can fly sideline to sideline. They're matching the physicality. They bring in a new co-D coordinator in Ron Roberts over from Auburn, a guy that coached on Billy Napier's staff at Louisiana for a couple years. A lot of familiarity there. Big moment for his defense.
2nd and goal. Ron Roberts, one of the gritty veterans of coaching. Ward drifting back again, floats it complete, and into the end zone goes Cam McCormick, one of the great stories of college football. His 9th year playing the game, and he scores the opening touchdown for the Canes.
And that is such a great job of, again, poised by Cam Ward. I think they had a protection bust up front with the left tackle, Jalen Rivers. He didn't block anybody, but Cam Ward never panicked. He just held onto the football. He led McCormick, the tight end, run across the field, and he hit him wide open.
They line up in the swinging gate formation before they bring it back in for a traditional PAT with Andy Borregales. Of course, we saw last week what happened in Ireland on the opening touchdown, where that was executed for a 2-point conversion. Borregales sends it through. Cam McCormick caps an 11-play drive. He's gone through injuries for years. He kept on playing. We will tell you the emotion behind the why of Cam McCormick in 9 years when we come back. Many of you probably saw a spectacular feature piece on College Game Day today showcasing the story of Cam McCormick. 9 years of college football. He is 26 years old. He just came up with the first touchdown of the season for Miami. 7-zip Hurricanes on top in this rivalry game here at the Swamp. SEC on ABC. Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, Katie George with you on a scorching hot day in Gainesville. This story, Jesse, of Cam McCormick. You say, how can a guy possibly play 9 years of college football? That's how.
Oh, it's amazing. You'd be hard-pressed to find anybody in college football or sports in general that has had to be more resilient because of injuries and had more to overcome than Cam McCormick. It's an unbelievable story of perseverance. And here on the touchdown catch, he pays it off, right? Came back, wanted to be a part of this team, felt like it was going to be something special. And on the very first drive of the season, in a very hostile environment, Cam Ward leads his offense down before throwing that touchdown pass to Cam McCormick.
Back on offense, Florida, Mertz and Johnson in the backfield. Here is Mertz and connecting with DK out to the 35. And now for the story behind that story, here's Katie.
Well, guys, McCormick was close teammates and friends with Spencer Webb, an Oregon wide receiver who tragically passed away in 2022. McCormick said he continues to play the game he loves because Webb can't. And he also said, you're given 4 years to play college football. He has yet to play 4 full seasons, and he says he deserves that chance too, Tess.
Isn't that incredible? And then he scores a touchdown to open things up. Mertz downfield, back shoulder, and gets it to Elijah Badger, the transfer from Arizona State.
Yeah, the Gators feel like they've got guys outside that can win one-on-one, throwing fades, goes, and posts. And here the Arizona State transfer just on a fade route. This is a perfectly thrown back shoulder ball. There is no defense for a perfect pass, and we talked about the accuracy from Graham Mertz earlier. It's a really good example of that.
19 yards to Badger. Play action. Mertz gonna take a shot downfield and overthrows the intended target. It was Badger again. Damari Brown had coverage.
That was nice coverage one-on-one, and we talked about all the inexperience that the Canes have back there. He started the last 4 games of the season last year, but no doubt he's a guy that they need to step up and make plays. 6'2", you see the size, just a tiny bit of contact. I think that's a really good no call.
Johnson on second down, and he was met in the hole and driven down by Jaden Harris, the strong safety.
And this is what Miami's defense wants to do, Joe. They want to stop the run on first and second down, set up third and long, and pin their ears back. They're going to play with multiple defensive ends, and right now they've got 3 of them on the field. Elijah Alston, Tyler Barron is out there. They've got Akeem Mesidor out there, and they can stand them up and move them around. It makes it really difficult for centers and guards, especially inside, to deal with that.
3rd and 7 for Mertz. 4-man rush, checks down to Johnson. Johnson cannot turn the corner as he was driven back that time by Wesley Basaint.
Well, that's the benefit when you can get a pass rush with 4, put everybody in coverage, keep your eye on the football, and go and pursue it. Now maybe a little bit of a decision for Billy Napier, kind of in no man's land, close to the 40-yard line, but looks like they're going to punt, play field position with Jeremy Crawshaw.
Crawshaw comes out to punt away. Go for that back rotation, spin, pin, and hope to land it. Oh, and a great special teams that time. That was Jim DK, the wide receiver gunner, inside the 5 to down it. Here in the swamp, where nearby the real thing lurks. 7-zip, Canes.
SEC on ABC is presented by Burger King. You rule.
Of course, all the national champions won between these two. 3 for the Gators, 5 for the Canes. The great history of yesteryear. You size up these programs. Jess, I think back about 20 years ago when you were playing in this rivalry, most of those NFL first-round picks were on the field.
Joe, I remember playing in the Sugar Bowl against Miami and just thinking, this game just feels so much faster than any of the other games we played. There was so much NFL talent. Like that guy, Greg Olsen.
He was one of the greats back 20 years ago at Miami. One of the greats in the booth right now, too. So they start from inside the 5-yard line. And Fletcher tries to give them running room, but he is stacked up on the inside by the middle of that front. Banks was in the mix there. And of course, the head coach was part of all that great national championship history. Mario Cristobal himself. 2 national titles as an offensive lineman for the Canes. So just a 2-yard run for Fletcher. It's a big opportunity for the Florida defense. Ward quickly gets it out to Arroyo, and the very athletic tight end is able to turn the corner for a first down.
Arroyo is a guy Miami needs to stay healthy this year. Only played 8 games the last 2 seasons, but he is so athletic at 6'4", 245 pounds. Tight ends only had 21 catches last season as a group, but they believe as good as they are at wide receiver, if number 8 Arroyo can stay healthy, then this passing attack goes to another level.
9-yard reception and a first down to get out of that compromised field position. Sidearms it to the outside to Restrepo, but they were right on top of it.
You know, the RPO game is such a big part of this Miami offense. And you see the mechanics of Cam Ward. He's like a shortstop turning too, right? Just catch and release. He gets it out so quickly. It's a lot of pressure on this Gators defense. There's Shannon Dawson, the offensive play caller for Miami. Right now, it feels like after an 11-play drive to open the game, trying to get some more breathing room here at the end of the first quarter.
Second and 9. Ward, you say he scrambles to throw, throws against the grain, and that ball is intercepted. That was Shamar James coming up with the pickoff, and Florida's in business.
It was Cameron James that had the pressure for the Gators, and that was the second time in the game you've seen Cam Ward throw it back across his body, ill-advised. And the Gators defense and Shamar James, their heart and soul at linebacker, comes up with the interception in a huge momentum-shifting play early, going the Gators' way.
Shamar James comes up with the interception. And Florida's going to have the ball in prime field position when we return. Gator Shamar James with his first career interceptions. Our AT&T Connected Cam replay.
Well, it's the Jameses making the play. It's Cameron James getting the pressure here, but it's Shamar James working in the slot one-on-one with Xavier Restrepo, and he's able to turn his head around, locate the football on the throw, and he makes a pretty difficult catch. You know, that was a good play call by co-DC Ron Roberts there. That time, bracketing Xavier Restrepo in the slot, Shamar James underneath. They had safety Asa Turner over top, and they get the interception.
Now can Florida cash in? Quick bubble. They get it to Trey Wilson. Wilson trying to split defenders as he darts to the 30. Katie.
Yeah, Tess, first thing Cam Ward said when he got to the sidelines, where's the iPad? Somebody get me the iPad. He's been watching that interception back ever since he got to the sidelines.
Well, Katie, I think it's the second time in the game now that he's thrown it back across his body, rolling to his left. He's played enough football to know, moving forward, that's probably either a ball you just want to throw away out of bounds or tuck it and run.
Florida's run 9 plays for 47 yards before this drive and punted twice. Now they get great field position. What will they do with it? 2nd and 7. Fakes the bubble. Looks downfield. Doesn't have it there. Mertz decides to run, and this time does lower the shoulders. Smart enough to move the chains.
Yeah, he does a good job again, tucking it and going, understanding where the sticks are, and then getting out of bounds. But Jadis Richard is not a guy he needs to take on. So again, that might be a conversation they have with Graham. Just run out of bounds right here. You got the first down. You don't need to take unnecessary hits.
And Jadis Richard's more than happy to give it to him. 1st down and 10. After the interception by Shamar. Johnson off the left side. And look at the defense by Miami. Everybody getting to the ball. Mesidor was the first to get there. Tyler Barron as well getting involved.
Well, the guy that I think Miami has to key on now is number 3 for the Florida Gators and identify where he's lining up. This just feels like Trey Wilson territory. You've seen already, even in the last couple of plays, he's been at receiver, he's been at running back. They threw him a swing, they faked a swing to him. Now he's playing wide receiver to the left side of the formation, one-on-one up top, the safety in the middle of the field. Something Graham Mertz is going to be paying attention to.
2nd and 10. Mertz fakes the bubble again to the left. Looks back to the right. Goes deep to the end zone, but thrown behind and to the outside of Khalil Jackson with Damari Brown on coverage.
Well, there was a lot of hand fighting, and the crowd obviously wants pass interference. Damari Brown and Khalil Jackson kind of got locked up down there on the goal line. Brown turns around to locate. I think it was more of a push-off than anything from Khalil Jackson. And another no call. So here's the thing, right? You've seen referees now call a couple plays like that, no PI on the Miami defense. I think Billy Napier and the Gators will expect that to be reciprocated as this game goes on.
ACC official Marcus Woods is leading this crew. Here's 3rd and 10. Mertz. Incomplete as he was looking for Arlis Boardingham on 3rd and 10.
That is a great job of sudden change defense by the Miami Hurricanes. After the interception by Cam Ward, they had to run back out, take the field, and they're able to bow up, force some big incompletions here. Nice play that time by Williams on the back end to force a field goal attempt by Trey Smack.
Trey Smack, who had a big year a year ago, had a game where he was 5 for 5, hit 2 54-yarders. This will be from 41. Out of the hold of Crawshaw, Underwood the snapper. Try to have Florida's first points of the season. And with that, the Gators are on the board. Coming up tonight, it's a good one on ABC at 7:30. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. Notre Dame and Texas A&M in College Station.
You know what I love about this, Joe? It's a cat and mouse game between new Texas A&M head coach Mike Elko and his old quarterback Riley Leonard, now playing for Notre Dame. Of course, both were at Duke a season ago, both very aware of each other and their schemes and what they're good at, and a lot of pressure on Riley Leonard to go into a very hostile environment at Kyle Field down in College Station and execute against what you already know is going to be a difficult scheme with Mike Elko in charge.
Here at the Swamp, just a great scene today. You know, all week long, this thing has been bubbling up. You sit there and say, boy, don't you wish they played every year? I mean, the energy's been amazing leading up to this game.
Speaking of two greats.
Two greats right there, Danny Werfel and Tim Tebow.
Danny Werfel. They got statues out front, got their names up here in the stadium.
Danny's son is here, attending University of Florida. I was hanging out with him earlier this morning, and he's now a parent of a Gator.
Well, he's got the dad glasses on.
He does. Hey, you'll be there soon enough, Jesse.
I'm well on my way.
Trey Smack, after he hit the 41-yarder, kicks off. 7-3 Miami here, closing seconds of this first quarter in the heat, and we showed you the feels like temperature of 100 degrees. Last time Cam Ward was on the field, Jesse, Shamar James picked him off.
Yeah, it's a decision that Cam Ward would like to have back. Again, rolling to your left, throwing back across the body. You see Shamar James doing a great job staying underneath a bracketed receiver in Restrepo, locating the ball off the tip, an errant throw, and he gets the big interception. The Gators only had 7 turnovers all season last year, ranked 129th in the country. That was a big focal point for them coming into this season. They got a big one there from their leader on defense.
Martinez is going to bounce it to the right, finds enough room there as he gets out to the 32-yard line. The intensity of the Canes and the Gators in the heat here at the Swamp. Cam McCormick had the 9-yard touchdown catch. Smack had the 41-yard field goal. SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Cristobal. Mario, your defense does a nice job forcing that field goal. What did you see on the interception from Cam Ward?
Well, you know, we were trying to make something happen on the run. Ball got out behind them, behind the receiver, got tipped, got picked off. They're doing a nice job with coverage and mixing up the looks. We got to do a good job establishing ourselves the line of scrimmage and then go from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, when he says it was tipped, it was just slightly grazed by the intended shallow receiver before it went into the hands of Shamar James. Here is Martinez, and look at Martinez when he makes a decision to accelerate and then just steamrolls downfield as he went straight over DJ Douglas.
Well, he has tremendous patience, and for a 230-pound guy, he's got a lot of burst too. He just kind of sets this up, and Shamar James is mirroring him. And I think number 6 for the Gators was surprised at how quickly number 6 for the Canes bounced outside.
The most coveted running back in the transfer portal. Just a massive load of power running at 232 pounds. 17-yard run there for Martinez. That ball was a little shallow for Restrepo, but he's able to haul it in and then dance his way for a first down.
Well, that's a great job of Cam Ward knowing where his answer is against the corner blitz. Florida's going to bring it from the boundary, and there was no hesitation. Cam Ward knew right away, as soon as he saw this, He's throwing to Xavier Restrepo right now, right away. We talked about Cam Ward. He's been in the air raid offense now for years. That's the system that Shannon Dawson is running, and you can tell he already has the answers to the test in the passing game.
Shannon Dawson, the play caller for Miami, who spent 4 seasons at Houston. He's part of the Dana Holderson coaching tree. First down, Ward just relaxed and then slings it, and he gets it to Restrepo again. First team All-ACC, Xavier Restrepo.
Yeah, I think we're learning a lot about Cam Ward on this drive, too. Remember, he's playing on a new team. They're trying to figure him out as well, Joe. You learn a lot about a guy sometimes. How do they respond after a bad play? After that interception. Now Cam Ward's taken the field. He's marching his offense down the field right now, under control. I think they're learning out a lot about their signal call.
Play action on first down with pressure. One little move buys him time, gets it complete, and getting inside to the 10-yard line was Horton.
Well, he threw it against his body again.
He did.
But this time there was nobody around Horton. At 6'4", he was just spotted up. It was an easy catch, and he's able to advance it now. And I think this is a place where Mario Cristobal would love to see his offensive line take over. That was a real big key for them last year in recruiting through the portal, building the guys up front. So in situations like this, where it's hard to throw because the windows are so small, you'd love to be able to just turn around, hand it off to one of your big backs.
Well, he's got the big back in Damian Martinez. It's 1st and 10 technically. The ball's just outside the 10-yard line. There's that sidearm again as they go with the tunnel to Lofton, the true freshman.
And again, it's just an RPO. This could be a run inside with Martinez with a guard pulling, but he sees a look outside one-on-one, and he goes out to Elijah Lofton, a highly recruited tight end. They clocked him at 20 miles an hour in practice.
With that body?
In the spring, it's not supposed to happen. I mean, the guy can play running back if he wants to. Just another one of these weapons. Back-to-back recruiting classes that were the best in school history.
It looks like he could play defensive line with that upper body. He's going to be something special. They have been recruiting. They have been getting into the transfer portal, and they have been landing everything that's coming up gold. 2nd and 7. Martinez looking for anything in the middle, but driven back. Pyburn and the rest of that team, and the ball came out there as Douglas is trying to play it, but the officials are waving it dead all the way back at about the 6-yard line.
The runner's forward progress will stop.
Well, here's the thing, right? We talked about the big bodies up front for Miami. That time, though, they're running into a 450-pound defensive tackle, big number 21, Desmond Watson. It looks like he was the one, along with DJ Douglas, just trying to rip the football out.
You can't review forward progress. Once they say forward progress is stopped, that's it. 3rd down and 4. Here's Ward, third pressure off the edge as he gets it complete, but taken down right at the line of scrimmage is Martinez, as that was Pup Howard who came up big defensively.
There were so many times a season ago, Joe, where the Gators had coverage busts, especially at the linebacker level. That's a really nice play by Pup Howard, the transfer from South Carolina, staying home, and you saw the athleticism and speed, able to make the tackle.
Andy Borregales comes out for the short field goal attempt. It's just from 23 yards out. And he is as reliable as can be, as the Canes take a 7-point lead. 10-3 Miami here in Gainesville. We look at the Taco Bell Live Más student section. All season long student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más student section of the year. You can download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Truly one of the great venues in all of American sports, especially on a rivalry game day like this, the Swamp. It was wonderful just to be around campus the past few days and take it all in.
Yeah, just tremendous energy, I think, leading into this game, everywhere we've been.
Katie, what can you tell us about one of the big Miami stars?
Yeah, Tess, unfortunately for Miami, Ruben Bain, who emerged as their best defensive lineman a year ago and was looking to build on that this season, he was injured on the first drive coming out against Florida. He's been in the locker room ever since being evaluated for an injury. I'll keep you updated as we go.
Yeah, it's a big loss for Miami, Katie, because not only is he good getting after the quarterback, leading the team last year with 7.5 sacks, he's also very stout against the run. Gives them a lot of versatility up front. That's a guy Miami certainly would love to have back on the field in this one.
They're going to have to use a timeout. That's off a dead ball off the kickoff. And with that, we will take a break from here in Gainesville. 10-3, number 19, Miami, ahead of the Gators. Jesse, Florida's Trey Wilson's the one guy you got to account for.
Yeah.
Coverage where it counts is presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet.
Yeah, he's the dynamic playmaker for the Gators early, and they've lined him up all over. Miami's had a good plan, though, coming into this one. You've seen safeties and cornerbacks flying downhill, using their speed to combat his own. The big key against number 3 for the Gators is you have to tackle the catch, and for the most part, the Hurricanes defense have been able to do that. And I would expect as this game goes on for Florida to start getting Trey Wilson stretching the field vertically in the passing game and give him an opportunity with some double moves to use his speed, trying to get over top of this defense.
He's the leading returner in catches and yards and receiving touchdowns. Let's see if they can get him going here on this drive. Johnson, big hole. Montrell Johnson for a first down.
And they've got to be able to get Johnson going. Really nice job up front. Najee Harris at left guard and Jake Slaughter the center. They work a double team and they get tremendous push right here, right at the point of attack. And there's a huge crease for Johnson to run through. Running the ball, Joe, it's such a big identity in Billy Napier's offense. They have to be able to establish that physicality.
13 yards for Montrell Johnson at 600-yard games a year ago. Mertz on first down, downfield, and the flag reigns in as Badger was the intended target.
He's working against Daryl Porter Jr. that time, and just too much. That was an easy pass interference call to make.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, this Miami defense, now they've come out and they've challenged these Gator receivers and press man-to-man coverage. And when Graham Mertz has seen that, he's got these back shoulder fade throws in his back pocket that he's trying to take advantage of. We saw him complete one in the first quarter. This time, nothing they could do because of the PI.
First penalty of the day for Miami. Porter's the 5th-year player in that defensive backfield. Short pitch, Johnson, left side. Johnson adds the shoulder at the end. He's got things going a bit now as he gave it to Maui Noah.
Yeah, Kiko Maui Noah just introduced himself as Johnson on the sidelines, but this is impressive to watch Johnson. He had arthroscopic knee surgery at the start of August, and they weren't sure when he was going to be ready. He has practiced the last 10 days. They said he looked good. And here these last 2 runs, he certainly does do that. But talk about not shying away from contact. I mean, Kiko Maui Noah is a 235-pound linebacker. Not a lot of running backs that want to take that on. Johnson did.
2nd and 5. Mertz off play action. Time to step up, drive the ball downfield, but out beyond the stretched arm of Badger, who was covered by Jadis Richard.
Yeah, and again, man coverage, and you're seeing the Gators aggressive. We've seen back shoulder fades. We've seen a couple posts. They've tried to go to Badger twice on those throws, but the coverage has just been too good by an inexperienced Miami secondary that really is stepping up. And their D coordinator, Lance Guidry, he's challenging them. He's putting them out on islands, playing man coverage, and they've been up to the task.
It's 3rd and 5. Webb comes in at running back. – . ' He's going to get the call, but he can't get anything. He is taken down right at the line of scrimmage by that very active defensive front.
And a decision here for Billy Napier, crossing the 50, down a touchdown. And one of the things the Gators love to do is sort of fake play action, try to freeze linebackers and then get tight ends or running backs outflanking them in the flat.
Trey Wilson starts in the backfield and now splits out. And a timeout is going to be used by Miami. A missed opportunity on third down. Florida now 0 for 4 on third down. And now it is time for the Aflac trivia question. This is an interesting one. If you think about putting in perspective Miami, especially in recent generations. Of course, they were QBU back in the day. But Jesse, I ask you, how many quarterbacks for Miami have been drafted in the top 3 rounds since 1990?
So they were QBU because of guys like Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly, of course, started off.
Yeah. Bernie Kosar, Gino Torretta, Steve Walsh.
But then you think ahead.
I'm going to say goose egg.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the University of Miami has not had a quarterback drafted in the top 3 rounds.
Is that amazing?
Since 1990.
They've had one drafted in the last 20 years. It was Brad Kaya in the 6th round in 2017 to Detroit.
That is the Aflac trivia answer, 0. And now, of course, Cam Ward, who is, listen, Cam Ward's an NFL prospect. Here we go. 4th down and 5 for the Gators. Johnson flanking Mertz. 4th and 5 from the 42-yard line. Mertz on 4th down, pressured, escapes it. And that ball should have been intercepted. It goes incomplete, but a flag is down at midfield, so we will check on that.
It's going to be Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, the right tackle on holding.
Number 65. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Miami has so much speed coming off the edge, and 4th down, ears pinned, obvious passing situation that time for the Gators, and they just couldn't handle it up front. You see coming from the right-hand side, that's Tyler Barron, the transfer from Tennessee, getting the pressure. And we've seen now the Canes defense in 2 difficult situations, right? Earlier after the interception, in a sudden change situation, they bowed up and forced a field goal by the Gators, and there on 4th down on their own side of the field, they get a massive stop.
3rd straight Florida drive into Miami territory, and they have 3 points to show for it. And Ward goes right up to the line to check with them. Here's Ward. That was thrown behind Isaiah Horton. And a flag is down back at the 33.
We get another roughing the passer.
First the foul. Rough the passer. Defense number 12. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
It brought DJ Douglas on a safety blitz. He was about 20 yards away from Cam Ward. He had a full run coming from here. Ward gets rid of this football. You've got to let up. That's just a mental mistake by a 50-year senior transfer from Tulane. We've seen a couple of those now. Billy Napier scratching his head. I mean,
drive a coach crazy.
It's week 1, and you know the emotions are running high, but you got to play with more composure.
I mean, you look up and you blink, and all of a sudden the ball's at the Florida 43 when it would have been an incompletion. Here's Fletcher as he tries to drive ahead, but TJ Searcy with the tackle. We've just had the discussion about Miami and the quarterbacks drafted in the last 34 years.
And I think, listen, there has been mediocrity around the program in the last 20 years. They've been in the ACC for that amount of time, never won a conference championship. And I think the big reason why was inconsistency at the quarterback position. They believe that Cam Ward can be the key to taking the team to another level this year.
On 2nd and 7, over the middle, complete as he goes to Horton.
And it's a really nice job by the offensive line, giving Cam Ward a very clean pocket to survey the field. He starts this play off looking to the right side. He's got Restrepo on a spot route. He doesn't like it. So he's able to come back, refocus to the middle, and deliver an accurate ball.
Just easy 30 yards. Pitch and catch, their longest play today. Ward tried to quick strike it to the end zone to Restrepo, but it's incomplete.
Well, you see all the different arm slots that Cam Ward can throw from, right? I was calling him a shortstop earlier because it literally can come out over top. He can throw it sidearm. He can throw it below sidearm. There are throwers and then there are passers. Patrick Mahomes is a guy that you would consider a passer, a guy that just effortlessly can get rid of it accurately. And Cam Ward's got a little bit of that magic, that shortstop stuff in him.
Second and goal. Under center now. Here's Fletcher with a blocker in front, and Fletcher will take it right in. A 10-yard touchdown run from Big Mark Fletcher.
We saw Cam McCormick catch a touchdown in the opening drive of the game. This time he gets a really nice block on Shamar James right here. It was a slow developing run play. Coming around the other side was Sam Brown, the transfer from Houston at wide receiver, getting a kick out on the safety Jordan Castell. Little misdirection to take it in for the touchdown.
Remember, they had the 30-yard completion to set it up. But Mark Fletcher, who's back from that foot injury, he can bring it. And he did right there. It is 17-3 Canes.
15th on ABC.
There is Cam Ward, and you can see what he's done so far today. 11 of 14, had the one interception, but then just brought his team down the field moments ago with the touchdown drive. 17-3 Canes on top. Billy Napier, can his offense find their rhythm? Player check-in is presented by Allstate.
I think for the most part in this game, Joe, Cam Ward's made some really good decisions. Now, there's been some risky ones, like we saw right here in the throwback to Xavier Restrepo, but in the RPO game, getting it out quickly, doing the right thing, and when no one's open downfield and he sees an open lane, he's taking off and running. He looks like a guy with tons of experience. The moments never seem too big for him. He's been able to create, show you the athleticism. This offense, for the most part, has looked very, very good and very balanced with Cam Ward calling the shots.
Meanwhile, Florida's only averaging 3.9 yards per play. Miami's 7.4, and Florida's going to go with the big guy in the backfield, Jaden Ball, the true freshman running back, number 13. And a timeout is going to be used by Miami.
Timeout, Miami, they're second.
Mario Cristobal, who talked to us this week about the preparation they have put in. He said games like this are won throughout the offseason. He said they're won on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday practice. You play the game before you play the game. And we visited with both head coaches yesterday. You got the sense that Mario was extremely confident about where he has this program right now. Listen, the talent acquisition business, he is golden.
Yeah.
Now it's got to show up on the field, and so far in this first half it is, Jesse.
Well, I think he's done it from the high school level, and he's building this thing the traditional way. Back-to-back classes that were considered the best in school history, but he's been incredible in the portal, and I think a big part of that is when you bring a difference maker in like Cam Ward, it changes everything, and it galvanizes your team.
Mertz on first down. Ball was batted down. That was a deflected pass right in his face that time.
It's Elijah Alston coming off the edge. They lined up the big defensive end opposite Trey Wilson. And he was able to kind of swat this thing away. So look at it, take it back right now. 41, Chase Smith. And what they're trying to do, it's interesting there. You see him lined up against Eugene Wilson. They're not letting Trey Wilson get a clean release down the field. They're going to try to chip him and change up the timing. But really nice athletic play there by Smith.
Second down for Mertz. You go inside. There's Trey Wilson. Trey Wilson is able to get it out to the 32.
So in these third down situations down at the Gators, you got to help your tackles on the edge, right? They've had some problems with the speed Miami has and the athleticism they have up front. For Billy Napier, you got to find ways to keep tight ends and running backs in to chip these guys off the edge, to give Graham Mertz just a little bit more time to throw the ball.
Remember, they are over on third down. Third down and 3. Mertz with time gets it out quickly, but it's incomplete. He threw it between defenders looking for Jackson. Elijah Alston thought he would get a chance at it, but it's incomplete. Florida's 0 for 5 on third downs, Jesse.
And Miami on third down is throwing all these exotic looks and these radar looks where you got guys standing up, they're mugging the A-gaps, you don't know who's coming, who's dropping off. Number 11 right here is going to be the guy, Elijah Alston from Marshall, who's going to drop back into coverage, and Graham Mertz doesn't know. He's thinking maybe he's coming on a rush. The guy he should have thrown that to was wide open in the flat. That was Trey Webb, his running back. So a poor decision that time by Graham Mertz.
First 3 and out today. Jeremy Crawshaw out to punt away. An alumni Pro Kick Australia. How many times do you hear that nowadays? As he sky punts this and drives it, and calling for the fair catch is Restrepo at the 25. Tomorrow, it will be the Modelo Vegas Kickoff Classic. Number 23 USC, number 13 LSU. That's at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas at 7:30 on ABC. And then Monday, the Capital One Labor Day kickoff. How will Florida State bounce back against a tough and gritty Boston College team, coached now by Bill O'Brien?
Yeah.
Coverage will be in at ESPN on 7:30.
Take a look back at what Miami's been able to do in this game. Really, outside of the interception, everything seems to be working. And it's been, again, really nice balance, throwing the ball from the pocket, moving Cam Ward, getting different people involved in the running game. Shannon Dawson's playbook as an offensive play caller right now is wide open.
Yep, and Jordan Lyles in the game, the top running back recruit in the country, is going to split out the true freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas in South Florida as he gets it quickly to Restrepo. This guy is so reliable.
Yeah, he really is, and he's just so sudden. He's probably quicker than he is fast, but he just creates separation off the line of scrimmage and just gets open a lot easier. We haven't called his name a ton in this game, but that is going to be a safety blanket for Cam Ward today and throughout the entire season. But when you need a big play, you can count on number 7.
Had 85 catches last year, the Miami single season record. Second and 5. Lyle looking to turn the corner, and he kept his balance. It'll be 3rd and short from there.
You can see the speed there by Lyle, Joe. I mean, they have the Thunder, right? They've got Damian Martinez, they've got Mark Fletcher, but who's going to be the lightning? Who can be the change of pace back? They lost their leading runner last year, Henry Parrish, to Ole Miss. They're hoping the true freshman could kind of pick up the slack in that category.
3rd and 2. Remember how this crowd was roaring to start the game. This is a different crowd than it was just a half an hour ago. Will this defense respond? Ward on 3rd down quickly gets it out as Lyle tries to fight for the line to make, and I think they're going to mark him short based on that, as TJ Searcy was there defensively.
That's a great tackle by Searcy out in space against a much smaller running back, and that time Cam Ward worked through an entire progression. He got to his 4th read in it. That was his running back on the swing, but the Gators able to stay home, and a big 265-pound defensive end out in space against the running back. TJ Searcy answers the call.
Dylan Joyce out to punt away. Jim Dike back to return for the Gators. Defense did their job. Coming up on 3.5 minutes before halftime with Kevin and Booger in the studio. First punt of the day for Miami, and Miami will use a timeout. And it'll be their last here of the first half. Well, there have been a couple penalties that have been costly for Florida in this first half,
yeah,
Jesse.
In a lot of the game, the Gator defense really has done some good things, but it's been mental mistakes. Some roughing the passer calls in the opening drive of the game. Huge one here with Miami driving on 3rd and long. Ends up leading to this touchdown by McCormick. And then we just saw one recently here on the safety blitz by Douglas. You just got to be able to pull up. Miami ends up paying it off with a handoff to Fletcher on a misdirection. And they score. Both those penalties were big, big plays. The Gator defense just needs to get settled down. They just have to emotionally be able to control themselves in what obviously is a very big stage.
Joyce boots it away. As DK's driven all the way back to the 10-yard line, but he splits defenders and makes a good return of it out to the 29. Jim DK, the transfer from Wisconsin.
All right, and if you're the Gators in this situation, about 3:32 to go, you're trying to drive the field and eat as much clock as you can, put some points on the board because Miami is going to receive first in the second half. You got tons of time if you're Graham Mertz. You got 2 timeouts. This year in college football, Joe, we got a 2-minute timeout.
Yes.
So there's a lot at your disposal. You don't have to rush. You don't have to hurry too quick. Get everything communicated to your offensive line and receivers to make sure everybody's on the same page.
How Graham Mertz will manage this. 3.5 minutes until halftime. We'll start on the ground with Johnson, who turns the corner, and here goes Montrell Johnson. Hello, Swamp. Go ahead and let him hear it. This Florida offense hadn't had a chunk play. That was their first play over 20 yards today, and it goes for 71. The roaring legs of Montrell Johnson, just when they needed it most to make it a touchdown margin.
And that was tremendous athleticism by Florida center Jake Slaughter, who was pulling outside on that play. Now, they also brought their guard Harris here. He's going to miss Basaint. Watch Jake Slaughter at 66 get the block. He erases the mistake, pins him inside right there. And Miami's safety, Jaden Harris, took a very bad angle downhill, and Montrell Johnson was able to get outside. It's coming this way, and the pin is there. It's a very athletic front that Florida has, and it's not just the zone scheme, but they're pulling centers and guards and tackles to get bigger bodies at the point of attack. And Florida's leading rusher for the last 2 seasons, the transfer from Louisiana, Montrell Johnson, shows you the speed.
This is a guy who had a knee procedure earlier this month, and then he was a full go at practice this week. You know, we've done games in the past with him, and the story of his relationship with his mom. They're from New Orleans, and she'll drive all the way across I-10 from Louisiana week after week to come to games here at the Swamp. A 71-yard touchdown to get the Gators back into this thing before halftime. I mentioned he was playing with this staff back at Louisiana. An incredible relationship with Jabbar Jalouk, the running back coach, who really is like a father figure to Montrell. They're very, very close.
You know, it's interesting, Joe, that last play just kind of changed everything, not just for the Gators, but I think for this home crowd as well. You know, they were down 17-3, sputtering a little bit on offense, and you had mentioned it too. It sounded different, not like it did in the beginning. They were starting to drown out. Long home run by Montrell Johnson, and all of a sudden the swamp is back.
Everybody's coming over and saying, all right, Montrell, that's just what we needed, my man. 71 yards, and Gator country is alive. Martinez, he tries to catch that seam, and he darts out past the 30. Shamar James, who had the interception earlier, tripped him up.
Now, conversely, you know, if you're the Gator defense here, trying to ride this momentum a little bit, how big would it be to get a stop, get the ball back, and with 2 timeouts, give Graham Mertz an opportunity to go steal some more points?
Super talented Miami offense now facing the roar of the swamp. With Ward and Martinez, the coveted prizes of the transfer portal. Here's Martinez on 2nd and 4. He's going to be a yard short. It'll be 3rd and short. Denson made the tackle. Remember, we told you this year in college football, there's the 2-minute timeout. And with that differential between play clock and game clock, Miami's going to take that luxury. The momentum of this game just shifted thanks to Montrell Johnson. A little super mo right into your face as Johnson went 71 yards. 17-10 Canes.
Every halftime report minutes away. New studio, Booger McFarland, Kevin Nagandi, same old dogs. Georgia dominant. We'll have highlights in their win against Clemson. Texas rolling right now in the first half. We're at the half there. We will have highlights for that. Meanwhile, maybe one of the best players in the country is a freshman at Ohio State. What does that touchdown by Johnson do for the defense and the Gators?
Well, no doubt. It gives you a little bit of motivation, but the offense has to get going. Before that touchdown, only 82 yards of offense for the Gators. They got to get more than a big play.
Best to you. Take it away.
All right, 3rd down and 1, and it was Martinez straight ahead for a 1st down for Miami.
So remember, Miami has the lead, obviously, and they're going to get the ball first in the second half. You've got a quarterback playing his first game in this offense, in this tough environment. How comfortable are they letting him just go 2-minute up tempo and start slinging it around to try to score more points? I think he's done enough and shown enough in the first half to earn that opportunity, Joe, but it looks like they're just going to try to play it safe here and take it in with the lead.
And Ward goes to Brown. There were no timeouts, and clock is ticking down under a minute and a half to play. Denson with the tackle.
And a nice tackle by Denson, too, because that time Brown was trying to get outside and get out of bounds to stop the clock. So we've seen really good open field tackling by the Gators, I think, in this game. That's one thing they've done a really good job of for the most part. You saw a good example there, forcing Miami to use that timeout.
The official standing over the ball. Second and 2 as Ward checks at the line. You can see Shamar James making the adjustment for the Gators defense. Martinez, as he just puts all that weight and power behind it. And Tyreek Sapp was the first to get to him, but that'll be a 1st down for Miami. No timeouts for Miami.
I think if you're the Canes, you got to be thinking about your kicker, Andres Borregales, one of the best in the country. He had a 51-yarder against Florida State a year ago. So in Cam Ward's mind, you're thinking if we can get somewhere near the 35-yard line here, we're in Borregales' range.
Ward gets it complete, threw it behind Arroyo, but complete. And now Miami all of a sudden is right there in prime position to strike.
We talked about the athleticism of Arroyo and why they were so excited. 250 pounds, looking like Jimmy Graham, stretching the field vertically. Make that big catch.
Ward to the end zone, incomplete as he was looking for Horton.
And all of a sudden, you know, this drive kind of starts off with a few run plays. It looks like Miami's just going to take their time, and right away, boom, boom, back-to-back throws deep down the field trying to challenge this Gator secondary. Talked about this Miami receiving unit, by the way, being dangerous and good after the catch. 55 yards already in this game after the catch.
50 seconds remain. Second down and 10. Ward. Quick strike, and into the end zone goes Xavier Restrepo. How about that drive by the Canes? 24-yard touchdown. It didn't take long when Cam Ward and the play caller Shannon Dawson made a decision. They came right down the field.
I think it was a coverage bust on the back end by the Gators. It looked like they had two defenders taking a flat route right here. They buzz out, and it's Jakeem Jackson who also runs with it, and it's Restrepo that runs inside, wide open on the smash route. Two guys covering the same. There was some hesitation, and Cam Ward does not need a big window to take advantage of that. We saw coverage bust be a big issue for a very young and inexperienced Gators defense a year ago. Some untimely penalties, and now that big coverage bust there. That has really been the Gators' undoing in this first half.
And the response, Jesse, you consider it's 3:21 before half when Montrell Johnson goes for 71 yards. And you said, man, this place changed. Just the whole buzz in the swamp changed. And now here, 45 seconds before half, Miami comes right down the field. 8 plays, 2.5 minutes.
I think a lot of that is a compliment to Cam Ward at quarterback, right?
Yes.
His blood pressure, his heart rate, it never seems to go up. He's always under control, and he showed you that there in that 2-minute situation.
Boy, did he. A 24-yard touchdown to Restrepo. And in 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Katie.
You know, Tess, when Shannon Dawson pitched Cam Ward on Miami, he said, I can't promise you you're going to throw for more yards. I can't promise you you'll throw it 60 times per game. But I can promise you that you'll be surrounded by better players and you'll win more games than you have. Come learn how to manage every aspect of this offense and show you're the complete package. And so far, so good, Jesse.
So far, so good, Katie. You're right. You've seen a whole lot of different offense. This isn't just what we saw at Incarnate Word or Washington State where he's in the gun. There's a bunch of receivers everywhere. You've seen Cam Ward under center in this game. You've seen him making checks to the line of scrimmage, changing protections, RPOs, changing the run game, total control of the offense. And Katie, that's exactly what Shannon Dawson promised him.
Here's Mertz on the split shadows of the field in mid-afternoon, and he's taken down. That was Kiki Mauanoa, as Kiko Mauanoa just comes crashing down on Graham Mertz.
Well, there's a stun up front, and that gets the offensive lineman moving. You're talking about one of the best blitzing linebackers in the country. At 230 pounds, man, when he decides to go downhill, he gets the football. 7.5 sacks a year ago, tied for the team lead. He's just a wrecking crew.
Absolute heart and soul of the defense is Kiko Mauanoa. And as that clock is running down, Cam Ward, as you said, boy, his heart rate just doesn't rise at all. He came to Miami with all the hype. 2 touchdown passes as we go down to the field to Katie.
kind of had a breakthrough there. What do you think of your offense's performance in the first half, especially the guys up front?
Yeah, struggled on third down for the most part, and then inconsistent with the run game. You know, I mean, I think we've had some opportunities. This has struggled on third down, haven't been able to stay on the field. We've made a handful of explosives. You know, it's a handful of errors on defense, 2 penalties. We've had a couple pressures that didn't hit. We got to get it cleaned up here at the half.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, the struggle on third down is real. 0 for 5 on third down as we will get you to the studio. The State Farm halftime report is still to come after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
You're watching Modelo Kickoff Week.
The SEC on ABC is presented by Burger King. This is Modelo Kickoff Week, and all that talent that Miami's been acquiring, it showed up in that first half. A 24-10 lead over the rival Gators. The U on top here in Gainesville. Just when Florida had some momentum, Jesse. The Montrell Johnson 71-yard touchdown run. Back came Cam Ward and the Kings. And Miami will get the ball to start the second half. So it's a big moment for the Florida defense to try to come up with a stop here. Joe Tessitore and Jesse Palmer with you. Cam Ward 2 touchdown passes in the first half.
Yeah, listen, I think the big story of the offseason for Miami was bringing in Cam Ward at quarterback through the portal, and he's looked as advertised, Joe. He's been really good with his decision-making early in the game. Guys losing contain. He decides to take off and run, and decisively later. Big hole opens up over the middle of the field. He's going to tote the rock. 36 rushing yards in that first half for Cam Ward. I've loved how he's gotten through his progressions, and he's been aggressive, vertically attacking downfield to his big targets. And really, whether it's been throwing, whether it's been running, whether it's been situational football so far, Joe, he looks the part.
Here's Mark Fletcher, who had a touchdown run in the first half, but he's wrapped up right away by Pup Howard. Katie.
Well, Jesse, Mario Cristobal echoed your same sentiments coming out of the locker room. He said the response he saw from Cam Ward after the interception is exactly why they got him this offseason. He said that mentality, that leadership is what won over his teammates in the offseason. He's helped change the culture to a more winning culture at Miami, which was needed. But Mario Cristobal did say we got to eliminate the dumb stuff, the substitutions, the burning of timeouts here in the second half.
Second down and 9 as he quickly gets it to the outside to Sam Brown. First half stats are brought to you by Bud Light. Look at the total yards, 283 to 145.
And the balance as well. They've done a really good job running it. They've done a really good job throwing it. They've been trying to keep this Gator defense on their heels. And with the poison decision making at the quarterback position, it really has made the difference. Here's a big third down early in the second half.
Third down and 3. Here's Ward, good protection, and he gets it on the inside to Restrepo, who turns around, spins free, and gets all that extra yardage. Xavier Restrepo, one of the best around.
And that is an outstanding route by Restrepo in the slot. They got him matched up with Turner, the transfer safety coming from Washington. He's going to run a whip. He's up here running out. Turner takes it, puts his foot in the ground, comes back to the inside. In a man-to-man situation, he just loses the safety. It's a better matchup for Cam Ward, and he identified it at the line of scrimmage. Looking across the board at all those matchups, he knows right now, there's no question, going to number 7, see what he can do after the catch.
Xavier Restrepo goes for 40 yards, and it's not good news for the Gators as Asa Turner, their starting safety, who's coming off that run to the College Football Playoff National Championship game with Washington, was a big piece of the puzzle, this defensive backfield. He has been down on the turf after this play, and the medical team out to see him.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the big problems for the Gators defense at the end of last year, they had 2 true freshmen playing at the safety position, and that kind of demonstrated itself with a lot of problems. Bringing in an experienced veteran that's played in big games like Asa Turner was really supposed to sort of shore stuff up on the back end, and they really felt when you paired him with freshman All-American Jordan Castell that the safety position went from a place of weakness now to one of strength. It's really important for the Gators they're able to get 20 back on the field.
Miami opens up this second half, gets right down to the Florida 29-yard line. Ward off play action. He's going to check down underneath to Fletcher. Fletcher, look at him go inside the 10, and it's going to be 1st and goal Canes.
And another great decision that time by Ward. He's got Sam Brown running a deep in route. It's not open, and he doesn't panic. He just knows he's got Fletcher in the flat, checking out of the backfield. Gets it to him early, makes it easy and catchable for the running back. He's able to make Sharif Denson miss and turn it into an explosive play.
Yeah, 22 yards. They have 6 plays now over 20 yards. This is a very talented Miami offense. Gets it out quick again. Here's Brown to the corner. And they're going to mark him down inside the 1-yard line. Sam Brown, he's the transfer from Houston who they're super high on.
Yeah, they got it to him quick. They got Ray Joseph in the slot at receiver trying to get a block downfield for him, and looked like his momentum was going to carry him in, but Denson, who just messed the last tackle, able to make this one. As you take a look at this from the progressive pylon.
Oh, that's close.
That's really close, Joe. They're going to want to take a look at that.
As he spins around, I think he's on the body of the defender, Jesse. This is going to be very close. That progressive pylon cam gave you a great look at it. So this play is officially under review. But that angle with the progressive pylon cam, it appeared that his body is on top of the defender.
Taking a look back, ball in his right hand. The question is, does his knee touch the ground before that? And if it does, where's the ball in relation to the plane, to the goal line?
As he spins around, does his knee drag? Now listen, it could be anything but the bottom of the shoe, correct, Matt Austin?
That's correct, and the view from the pylon cam, it does look like his right shin does drag on the grass.
Yeah, there it is.
He swung around.
There it is, and that's why I framed it that way. It doesn't have to be the knee. It could be any part of his body outside of the bottom of the shoe, and watch the shin here, as Matt points out. Right there.
Yeah. Well, it's been another impressive drive here by Miami, and you know, with the score right now 24-10, this is one of those situations where the Gators were to go up 31-10. You know, how does that impact the crowd? Any opportunity? We talked about that at the start of the game. Any chance they can get to quiet down the swamp, they want to do that. And
after further review, the ruling on the field stands. Second down.
So it'll be second down from there. Sam Brown is just another piece that they've added to this loaded offense. He was with Houston, and he had a great fall camp. He's already proven to be a huge addition when you're around the facility and the program. They know it.
How nice now, if you're the Hurricanes, you've got Mark Fletcher, a true sophomore, 230-pound battering ram. It's tailor-made for these kind of situations.
He's got Lofton offset as a blocking back. Fletcher, the tailback. And as he goes up and tries to get over, and it is a touchdown. Mark Fletcher is in again. His second of the day.
Well, it was Restrepo that had the big catch and run, an explosive play that got this offense in business. They're able to cap it off in the end. We talked about in this running game, there's not a lot of mystery. They just line up mano-a-mano and just go right down the middle. And that time, Mark Fletcher goes up and over. Didn't look like the ball crossed the plane initially, but he got dumped into the end zone.
We discussed it when we started the second half, saying if you're the Florida defense, you know Miami's getting the ball to start this thing. You gotta get a stop. And instead, it was a 6-play drive that went 75 yards. And again, Cam Ward did it in quick fashion. And Mark Fletcher caps it 31-10. Man, oh man, is Miami talented. Back here at the Swamp, where those fans, that guy's awful happy right now. And You know, you size up the season ahead, and anything can happen in college football. But we knew this Florida schedule was brutal, and that this Miami schedule, you take a peek, and it looks kind of manageable for a special season.
Well, before we even saw anybody play games, no Clemson, no NC State, no UNC. So that was good news. But all of a sudden now you've seen Clemson struggle today against Georgia. Florida State obviously has already lost. NC State was losing in the fourth quarter to Western Carolina. Virginia Tech, a team people thought could compete in the ACC, they went down to Vandy today. So when you look at the talent Miami has and you look at the schedule they have, it does look like things do align. You don't want to get ahead of it too soon. This literally is only week 1, but I think you and I would both agree. Yes. We've seen Miami in person, especially the last couple of years with Mario Cristobal. This team, from the eye test standpoint, they do look a lot different.
They look different, and then you think about the 12-team college football playoff and the format that's being used, and knowing that a conference champion gets one of the top 4 seeds, and the way the ACC is shaping up now, you look at Miami and you say, wow, could this be the year that everything they've talked about now comes to fruition? Let's see if Florida has any sort of an answer here in this second half. Graham Mertz with time goes over the middle, and he's able to get it complete to Khalil Jackson. Want to remind you of the new 12-team playoff format. 5 conference champions will get in. The next 7 highest ranked teams will get in. But what's unique is what you see right there, the first round byes. You have to be a conference champion to get a first round bye. As Florida quick to snap, and they go with Montrell Johnson.
And also in that first round of playoff games, it's home field advantage to the lower seed. So that's really, really unique and interesting as well. And I think one conversation we constantly have is how many teams can the SEC get in? How many teams can the ACC could go? In order to do so, you've got to separate from the pack.
Now Johnson smartly just secures the ball. And now they're going in the wrong direction, as that's going to be spotted at the 35-yard line after that play.
Well, in week 1 of the season, communication issues at the line of scrimmage, these are things that haunt head coaches. They're worried about. You try to plan for it and practice for it and simulate it during the week, but you can't simulate game day conditions. Gators having some issues there.
So the complaint by Graham Mertz, I believe he's saying, hey, the other side defensive line was clapping, simulating the snap on me, and that's why it happened.
So third down, Joe, 0 for 5 for the Gators so far in this game. They have really struggled in this critical D&D.
And now it's a 3rd and 13. Mertz steps up, being pressured and being driven down and sacked. As Simeon Barrow right on top of him. Elijah Alston involved as well. And Jaden Harris was the first to get in there.
Well, they brought the safety off the edge, and Florida's got a massive 345-pound tackle that's trying to block a much smaller guy. He's just struggling with the speed. He just can't get there. And Cameron Waits last year played at 360 pounds. He actually trimmed down to try and help him. But the speed off the edge there, and a nice call by Lance Guidry, defensive coordinator by Miami, mixing up the blitzes and bringing it from different levels.
Crawshaw's 4th punt of the day. Ray Joseph from the 6-yard line. And he is met on special teams well. And we talked about a lot of people sizing up the game said, hey, that offensive line of Florida, would they be able to handle things? A reminder, we got a good one tonight on Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. 7:30 on ABC as number 7 Notre Dame takes on Texas A&M in College Station.
We're talking about Riley Leonard, the new quarterback at Notre Dame, and comes over now facing against his old head coach, Mike Elko, who takes over at Texas A&M. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. By the way, Connor Wigman,
yes,
maybe one of the better quarterbacks in the country. A lot of people might not be familiar with the Texas A&M. Missed most of last season with an injury. Very special player, but he's throwing up against one of the best secondaries in the country at Notre Dame.
There's that sidearm as he goes to Arroyo with blockers in front. Elijah Arroyo, and he could be a breakout star. Sort of has that Jimmy Graham-esque body to him, Arroyo.
So it's a good decision quickly by Cam Ward. This time, 2 Gators got sucked in on this RPO. One's a blitz, and then outside Marshall, a corner. He kind of gets his eyes caught inside. As soon as Cam Ward saw that, this was an easy spit-out throw, and The Gators defensively are lucky this didn't go for more yards.
By the way, how about little Xavier Restrepo getting out there and blocking? He's in all over the field. 23 yards to Arroyo. Fletcher back on the ground as he lowers his shoulder.
But Joe, you see how decisive Cam Ward is as he's playing. We talked about this match with Shannon Dawson's offense. It really could be a match made in heaven, and you see it. He's familiar with the schemes in the passing game, having played in the air raid offense. He's also familiar on the checks in the RPO game. He knows which defenders to key on, and with his mechanics, now quickly he decides to throw. He's able to just spit the football out so quickly. It just makes the offense so much more efficient, and there really has not been that big of a learning curve having come from Washington State.
There's Lyle as he will move the chains again out past midfield, and now that Miami road grading offensive line and all the talent running back, and they're dominating the time of possession.
And this is what I like about Shannon Dawson's quote-unquote air raid offense. It's not like the one Hal Mummy or Mike Leach ran where they're throwing it 70 times a game. He learned from the Godfather Hal Mummy, but he's committed to running the football. So they can be finesse, yes. They can also be physical. This offense can beat you however they need to.
Here's Ward. Steps up. Able to free himself. Launches downfield inside the 10, and that was batted away. He was looking for Sam Brown.
Jordan Castell is playing safety back there. And you want to talk about a guy that was an impact freshman a year ago, got forced into the starting lineup. 11 starts on the year. He led the team in tackles. He's got so much range. He's a young player that they're going to be able to build around. That was a tremendous play going up over Sam Brown and knocking that thing away.
He was one of the very best freshmen in the country, as you mentioned a year ago. Second and 10. Gets it up quickly again. Ball came loose. I don't know that it was a completion, but if it's a live ball, it's in the hands of Douglas. Douglas is returning it, and they're treating it that way.
I don't think it was ever a catch. It was definitely a forward pass. I think this is going to be deemed incomplete.
That's the way I saw it live, Jesse. Let's see if the officials agree. But they treated it like a live ball.
Ruling on the field is a completion, then fumble recovered by Florida. First down, Florida.
I don't see a completion there.
Well, no, and it also definitely wasn't a lateral. I mean, that ball's moving forward. Right there, Brown's not able to bring it in. It goes down. That should be a pretty quick review.
Let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules expert. Matt?
Yeah, Jesse, I agree with you 100%. He never had control of that ball.
After further review, the rule on the field is an incomplete pass. It'll be third down.
That's a good overturn.
It is, and it's quick, Matt. It's quick, and everybody says thank you for that.
So now a 3rd and 10 situation comes up, and a big question for this Gator defense, not just today, but for the season. Who's going to be the alpha coming off the edge for co-defensive coordinator Ron Roberts and get pressure? They lost Princely Uman-Mielen, the guy who led them in sacks a year ago. He's now playing in Oxford, Mississippi. Someone's got to be able to step up. This is a talented front from the Gators, but so far in this game, they have not been able to get home and affect Cam Ward consistently.
Third down and 10. Ward with time downfield and just lofts it to Horton, who secures it. And Miami with their 22nd first down of the day.
Well, you can't teach height. Horton's 6'4". It's a little double move, a little stutter. And Jakeem Jackson was really in good position on that. But again, there's no defense for a perfect throw. And Cam Ward puts that right on his face mask.
27 yards. He's making it look easy, isn't Cam Ward? A little too much on that as he was looking for Ray Joseph. I mentioned 22 first downs because of the differential here. It's so stark. 22 first downs for Miami, 8 for Florida.
You'd never know that this was an offense with a quarterback that had only played a half inning. I mean, they look like a well-oiled machine. Communication, and we thought that was going to be a big challenge. New rule this year in college football, headset communication between the coach and the quarterback. And would Cam Ward be able to communicate with his teammates? Would he be able to hear in this noise? Would he be able to function? It just hasn't been a problem. The offense is just a well-oiled machine.
Lyle. And he's taken down in the backfield by Shamar James, who had the interception earlier today.
Yeah, he completely blew that up. And he's a guy they're happy to get back healthy. He missed 4 games at the end of last year with a knee injury. As soon as he sees a gap, he's downhill with his speed and able to make the tackle for loss. So here's another big third down. And who can be the guy for the Gators? I mean, TJ Searcy is a guy, number 19, that they were really hoping could step up and assume that role. Right now they've got him lined up inside.
They're down in 11. Ward able to spin free of Searcy and then goes to the end zone, and in the back of the end zone it is Jacoby George. My oh my, Cam Ward's having himself a day. A 23-yard touchdown catch, tiptoeing that back line by George.
It's like he's just out for a walk. It's like, look at his face, look at his demeanor. Look at the poise is ridiculous. And the catch in the back of the end zone to make sure he got 2 feet down, that's good on Sundays. That was an unbelievable play by Cam Ward.
And look at this determination. You know, Mario Cristobal said to us yesterday, he said, listen, this is a guy who's got drive and determination, and that is what makes him charismatic. His charisma is when you just absorb that drive and determination. And he said to us, he's going to be successful at absolutely anything in life. It just so happens he's successful at playing quarterback. And right now, Miami is just rolling here in Gainesville.
And he is putting on an absolute show. He's able to make Searcy miss. He scrambles out, scramble to throw, never loses his poise. And Jacoby George, who only had 1 catch for 2 yards before this, puts Miami back on the board. This could not have been a better week 1 start for the Canes.
SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King, is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Just a young pup from Ottawa living a dream in Gainesville back in the day.
Couldn't grow a lot of facial hair back then, so I just kept it simple. Still not great at it now, if truth be told.
38-10, Miami on top. Cam Ward with over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdown passes here in the 3rd quarter. The big new addition to Miami, among many new additions to Miami. And it's a great rivalry. They just don't play that much. But just you were part of it back in the 2001 Sugar Bowl at the end of the 2000 season.
Yeah, and 2 really good teams. There were so many first-round picks on the field that day. I was talking about it earlier. It was probably the fastest football game I ever played in at the collegiate level. And remember, this was just days after both teams got into a massive brawl in Bourbon Street. It was terrifying. Everybody was wearing Sugar Bowl issued black leather jackets. You had no idea who was on whose team. I so quickly ran into the first establishment that had an unlocked door to get out of that.
Unbelievable. That was then, and this is now. Montrell Johnson, who had a 71-yard touchdown run earlier. He was driven down and driven back by Mesidor.
I think now, if you're Billy Napier, obviously a lot of football left to go in this one, but you're wanting to see how your football team responds. Down 38-10, it is going to be a long, grueling season with the toughest schedule and you're going to have to be able to fight adversity. And right now you're finding out who on the field is going to fight and going to be in the corner all season long.
And when we say toughest schedule, I mean, we're not just talking about right now in college football. 2nd and 7, that's incomplete. You could say it's one of the toughest schedules you've seen in the modern era of the sport. And a flag comes in late after Mertz had to pick himself up off the turf. That flag's going to be spotted around the 40-yard line. And the stretch they're going to face later this year. Of course, the new look SEC now, conferenceless SEC with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma. Florida's going to be at Texas later this year.
Defense. Ball be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
So what's pass interference with DK downfield? But this Florida schedule, I'm saying not just this year in college football is it the toughest. You could make an argument it's one of the toughest we've seen in a generation.
You look top to bottom. Your big rivalry games, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida State, all away from the swamp. Non-conferences, Miami, UCF in the Big 12 now, and of course Florida State. You just look top to bottom, you can't find a gimme win. You can't look at Kentucky. I mean, they've beaten them 3 times in a row.
That's right. There's Mertz. They go with the inside tunnel. Wilson trying to weave his way along. Listen, Wilson's their best playmaker by far, but they just got to find a way to utilize him.
Yeah, and find time for Graham Mertz to allow Wilson to get downfield. Every throw we've seen to him in this game has been very short. It's been jet sweeps. It's been throws to the flat, swing routes. At some point, Graham Mertz needs to have time to be able to stretch the field throwing to number 3.
Johnson on 2nd and 5 and a good run past midfield. A reminder coming up tonight, it's going to be Notre Dame and Texas A&M. And you know, listen, the transition of talent in college football. Riley Leonard's now the starting quarterback for Notre Dame. He was a star against them when he played against Duke, and now he's playing for them.
And he's a dual threat too, and he's going to give them a little bit of a different dimension than they had a year ago when Sam Hartman was their quarterback. Texas A&M has to be weary of his arm and his legs.
So he has arrived to the stadium to get ready for that primetime game that Kirk and Chris will have tonight. Mertz, he is torn down. That was Tyler Barron, the big transfer from Tennessee, as this loaded defensive line is showing themselves.
Tyler Barron just walked a 240-pound Arliss Boardingham right back into the quarterback. It's going to be up here. And it's just one-on-one. And it's a D-end against the tight end who's more of a finesse pass catcher than he is a blocker, and that not a good matchup for the Gators up front.
That is the 3rd Miami sack tonight. Makes for a 2nd and 17. And they're going to run the ball with Johnson. He is tackled for a loss. He is brought down by Alston.
You're getting a little bit of a bare front here where Miami's really trying to cover up everybody from the Florida Gators up front. So no one can get a double team on the right side here. It's covered, and they're covered. When they run outside, again, Boardingham just not able to get it done, blocking at the point of attack. We've seen a bad job in pass pro and now in run blocking.
And that's 3rd and 20. Mertz, he has time, but obviously in 3rd and 20, long way to go as he connects with Elijah Badger.
Well, the clock is starting to go off a lot faster in Mertz's head. Nice job anticipating that throw way before Badger turned around. They get a big chunk of yardage back. Good news, bad news. They're 0 for 7 on 3rd down now. In another obvious passing situation, they've got to help the edge. They got to help these tackles because the speed for Miami up front's been a problem.
So here's a 4th down. It's 4th and 8 as they got 12 yards back when it was 3rd and 20. 4th down for Mertz. Gets it out quickly and gets it complete for a 1st down. That was well done to connect with the transfer Elijah Badger.
And that really was an NFL throw, Joe. That's a wide field out-breaking route that he throws far before Badger turns around. He got it out, put air under it. He needed to, too, because the pressure was starting to get to him, and just kind of, he just rolls it out there. It's firm with an arc. Norv Turner, my old offensive coordinator for the 49ers,
I like
to
that.
say that. Firm with an arc.
just the visual makes sense as to what you're looking for the throw to be, and that's what it was. Went for 12 yards and a first down. Mertz. And a little pressure coming off the edge. Tried to get it to Mizell, but it goes incomplete.
Cameron Waits, their big 340-pound right tackle, is having problems right now. Every time Lance Guidry is dialing up either a linebacker blitz or a safety blitz. That time, Daryl Porter Jr. was able to get in the backfield and force that misfire. They've got to help him out. And it's got to be with a tight end or a running back in a chip. Lance Guidry just seems like he's one step ahead here, play calm.
And that was one of the matchups that all week long people pointed to as a distinct advantage for Miami. Here's Mertz. He keeps it himself and slides down with a first down for Florida.
Well, Mertz is not the most athletic quarterback in the country, but he's a good enough runner where you got to respect it. A nice job there on the zone read this time. He sees this guy hesitate and crash. He's just going to keep the football and slide and get down. And now driving in close to the red zone.
Johnson tackled for a loss.
Yeah, Lance Guidry, it feels like he's dialing up safety blitzes almost every play now. Someone's coming off the edge. That time, Jaden Harris coming off scot-free, and they're switching it up right side, left side.
Pico Maui-Noa also involved with Harris on that play. Play drive for Florida here, trailing by 4 touchdowns. Mertz. That ball is picked off. It is Powell on the return. Mish Powell still on his feet. Mish Powell with the interception and the big return that forces Treyon Webb to finally tackle him, and Graham Mertz is still down after throwing that pass.
He took a massive hit from Tyler Barron right after he let go of it. He wasn't able to look off the Washington transfer Powell. He doesn't just pick it off, but completely flips the field. And there are a lot of fans right now holding their breath, hoping Graham Mertz is okay.
You see him wincing in pain after throwing this ball and getting rocked. And Mish Powell returned the INT, and the Canes are whipping up a storm here in Gainesville. This is seen moments ago as Mertz was taken off the field after that big collision he absorbed.
Yeah, Florida is, looking at this again. I think Miami's lucky that wasn't roughing the passer, because it looked like 93 Anthony Campbell swatted Graham Mertz right in the face, but nothing was called.
Final moments here of the third quarter. And already the most points given up by a Florida team in a home opener ever, as in 117 seasons of football ever. 38-10. Martinez looking for anything, can't find much against that Florida front. TJ Searcy and the rest of them on the tackle. And who knows, maybe we'll see DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway is the most coveted freshman quarterback. He was the big recruit, #1 quarterback recruit in the class of 23, and the future of Florida is bright with DJ Lagway, and we may see his first college action in moments. Of course, the great tradition of Tom Petty won't back down. It's 38-10. You gotta believe. The SEC on ABC, presented by Burger King, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. There's no easy way out when you have a day like this, as Tom Petty blasts throughout the swamp. Great tradition before the fourth quarter. Better not back down with the schedule Florida's playing this year. #1 in strength of schedule. And they started against this loaded Miami team. (38-10) as we start the fourth quarter. with the new additions to the Miami backfield, Ward and Martinez, as they go with Restrepo on the end around looking to pass, and he does, and it nearly was completed to Sam Brown. So Miami opens up with the
Sam
play.
Brown, you've got to put two hands up and make that catch. I don't know how many times this year Xavier Restrepo is going to get an opportunity to do that. That was actually a really good looking throw. I think Sam Brown at the end of this kind of got lazy. Man, that is going to be an interesting wide receiving meeting room when they go back and look at this. As you take a look on the progressive pylon cam, oh, he can't believe it himself. He's like, bro, so you're just only going to catch for Cam Ward. You're going to make nice catches and get both feet down at the back of the end zone. You're not going to try for me.
Third and 9 for Cam Ward as he's being chased nearly back to midfield, and he launches it away. That was Sapp who was coming after him. Let's look at Restrepo's throw again. You know, in film this week, he's going to be saying all week long, Sam, but Sam, you could have.
Yeah, you left me out to dry. I know you're new here. You're just showing up from the University of Houston, but you've got to put two hands up around here to try to make catches. The good news is, though, for Xavier is he's going to get another opportunity from Shannon Dawson at some point this season.
Right.
I mean, he's not going to get it in the stat book. That should have been a touchdown pass, but he has earned another throw, in my opinion.
And Borregales comes on for the field goal. His older brother, Jose, won the Lou Groza Award 4 years ago. Mario Cristobal said, I wish the Borregales family had even more children. That one is off the mark. One of the best kickers in the country. You know, we've been talking about it all day. Cam Ward and his ability to utilize all the different arm angles with his throw.
Yeah, arm slots, and we've seen it in the RPO game, but also when things break down, he can just sidearm it. He can go submarine style in the RPO here, splitting it out to his tight end. He doesn't even have to get his feet set. Again, he's a natural passer of the football. He can manipulate it, make it do whatever he wants. There are throwers and there are passers who play quarterback. He's the latter.
And you hear the roar from the crowd because DJ Lagway is on the field. Who is he? Well, he was the best quarterback in high school football coming out, and Florida landed him, the true freshman that they've been waiting to see from Willis, Texas. One of the coaches told us this week, we're going to rip the Band-Aid off. So say hello to college football, DJ Lagway. As Trayon Webb tries to push ahead.
Well, he's a big body, 6'3", 240 pounds, was the #1 ranked dual threat QB prospect coming out of high school. He has a lot of people excited because he just has things you can't coach. He has tremendous arm talent, a very quick release. He's also an excellent runner. And the zone read game becomes more of a priority now, I think, for Billy Napier with Lagway in the game.
And Lagway is taken down for a tackle for loss by Tyler Barron, the veteran, who played at Tennessee and then came over to Miami.
Yeah, and that's one probably DJ Lagway had to hand off. Tyler Barron was basically at a full stop and not the right read on that zone read. And you know, this is, again, a true freshman getting his first action. We weren't sure when we were going to see him, but I don't think anybody anticipated it would be under these circumstances. With Graham Mertz going down with an injury, down 38-10.
Third down and 12 for the true freshman. Game 1 against this Miami team. There's Lagway trying to extend the play on 3rd and 12. Throws it downfield and incomplete as he was looking for Chim DK.
I'll tell you, Tyler Barron for Miami is having one heck of a game. He has just been wrecking this game. So disruptive coming off the edge. You could talk all you want about Cam Ward, Damian Martinez, and Mish Powell, and all these other guys they brought in. How about number 9 for Miami and the presence that he's brought with Ruben Bain injured, remember, for Miami out the edge. But number 9, Tyler Barron, man, he has really picked up the slack. He's been impressive.
He had a strong 4 years at Tennessee. Had 13.5 sacks there. Going to let this ball bounce, and it will do so, and down inside the 25-yard line. Cam Ward, he is set to play a huge role in the sport this year. Showing his stuff right here in week 1 for the Canes.
SEC on ABC. Saturdays at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. This is how it's done.
Hey, next Saturday, the SEC on ABC has South Carolina taking on Kentucky. That'll be 3:30 right here on ABC. SEC Nation will be on site there on the SEC Network. We were all over there this morning. Huge crowd at the Plaza of the Americas.
I know. You were doing a great job playing to the jib camera.
You're out of control. Oh, you were doing a great job showing off the J. Palmer clothing line to the crowd there. Your new book. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, it's available on Fanatics.com. It'll be available this month. Elevated sports apparel, Joe Testa.
Is that the log line?
Yeah.
Is that the log line we're going with?
That's what we're going with.
Right now it needs to be breathable because, I mean, we are just sweating through everything here. The suit, everything, you name it. It's just so. It's a long day to be sitting in the heat when your team is down by 28 points. And you're facing Cam Ward in this offense. Jordan Lyles, the running back. He's from Fort Lauderdale. He's the top running back recruit in the country. He was originally committed, and here he is, Lyle, to Penn State, and then they flipped him to play for Mario Cristobal. College football rankings are brought to you by Allstate. And listen, you can say what you want about the rankings early in the season, right? You got some random numbers next to teams' names, and it all gets shook up as we get these results.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think now that we're finally starting to play games, you're kind of getting a little bit of a taste of what the picture might be. And the season's obviously very, very early right now. But after Florida State went down to Georgia Tech last week in Dublin, we saw Clemson struggle with Georgia today, Joe. Just from an eye test standpoint, I would say right now, Miami is the best team in the ACC.
No, I think that's a very fair assessment at this point. Cam Ward cannot get free as he was taken down there.
Cam Ward can also not get injured.
No.
And so if you're Mario Cristobal, 38-10 with less than 12 minutes to go in a game that seemingly is in hand, I think you might want to start putting him on a bit of a pitch count.
And Emory Williams has experience, the young quarterback who many viewed as the future of the program, played 5 games last year. Then he had the arm fracture in November. Dylan Joyce on to punt for the Canes. DK fields it near the 30-yard line. Decent return out to about the 42-yard line. Well, Florida knew what they were stepping into with this schedule. They just found out how talented Miami is.
Who get it done. SEC on ABC is presented by Burger King. You rule.
Well, would you look at Sebastian, Jesse?
A little fun with the inflatable.
He is. I mean, just kicking up the legs, hands behind the neck. At 38-10, he's enjoying it. We'll see if this guy will enjoy his home game tonight. Connor Wigman, who was excellent for A&M before he got injured and facing an extraordinarily talented Notre Dame defensive backfield.
Yeah, he's incredibly accurate. We saw that last year early in the season against Miami. They lost that game, but he was really, really good. He's going to be thrown against Benjamin Morrison, though, one of the best corners in the country, a loaded secondary.
DJ Lagway, the true freshman quarterback, getting playing time. And there's his first completion of his college career as it goes to Trey Wilson.
And you see the natural arm talent and also the quick release. When DJ Lagway commits to this throw, it comes out fast, and it just looks a little bit different.
You're right.
These are just things you can't coach. He has that, and I think that's one reason why this coaching staff and these fans are so excited about the future here.
A year ago, he was the National Gatorade Player of the Year for high school football. And now Mertz got injured earlier, and with the score this way, no matter, it's good time for Lagway as he connects with Wilson again on the slant.
And I like the idea of calling plays, and it's easy slant completions to try to get the true freshman in a rhythm. And honestly, it's been pretty good coverage by Miami, but the arm talent by Lagway is just fitting it into very small windows, and also really good location for Wilson.
Listen, covering Florida recruiting is sort of a sport unto itself, and DJ Lagway's recruitment and getting him here to campus was an incredible story for the Gators as takes it ahead here. And for those who do that, they will tell you he is considered to be the most significant recruit going all the way back to Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
DJ Lagway.
And because he's the type of guy that other recruits are going to want to come here to Gainesville to play with. If you're a wide receiver, you're going to want to catch passes from this guy. A lot of people believe he has the ability to change and turn the trajectory of his program. And maybe in a few years, that shirt will say, I miss DJ Lagway.
Yeah, exactly. Shirt says, I miss Tim Tebow. 2nd and 9, short pitch. Jackson with a nice run. Jacoby Jackson, the JUCO transfer in 2023.
Well, and you wonder coming into this game just how many plays this coaching staff had ready for DJ Lagway if in fact he was going to play. But here's a big advantage. You now have the communication from the coach to the quarterback on the headset, and you can use some of the time to coach him up a little bit. You can guide him. You can say, hey, if they blitz, make sure you're thinking about this. Make sure the receiver lines up in this place. If they play this coverage, you want to think about throwing to this guy. Billy Napier can help his true freshman quarterback a little more than you could a year ago.
First down, play action, Lagway. That ball was deflected and falls incomplete. A few weeks ago, you and I had a lengthy conversation about the coach-to-player communication, the headset and the helmet. And one of the things that we discussed was the advantage for young players. It's like training wheels.
That's right.
For them.
Yeah, and this is a perfect example for that. Get him to play quickly, and you allow him to communicate that with the teammates, but you have until there's 15 seconds left on the play clock before the communication shuts off. You can use that time to just hold his hand a little bit and help him with his thought process.
Second and 10. Jackson again cannot find anything this time as Moten's senior made the tackle.
And these are all learning moments. There's Russ Callaway, co-offensive coordinator for Florida, and obviously you've got a young true freshman. You want to kind of manage him, but you've got to kind of throw him in the fire at this point based on what's happened. You don't know how much longer you're going to need him to play. We don't know the extent of Graham Mertz's injury, but literally every down right now is a learning experience for this true freshman quarterback.
Third down and 12. Lagway steps up. Now he's going to have to run it, and he's going to do so and get the first down and set up a 1st and goal. So listen, there's some hope here for Florida fans, not for today necessarily, but for this season and the future.
Yeah, listen, and I'm not trying to create a quick QB controversy with Graham Mertz, but it looks a little different when Lagway throws it, and it looks a little different when Lagway runs it, as you saw right there.
Moten is down at the end of that play, and thus the pause in the action as the training staff for Miami is out on the field. But DJ Lagway, the true freshman, in the midst of this 7-play drive marching down the field. We'll take a short break and come back to see how he can cap it.
EC.
Boy, we've seen through the years the surrender cobra pose, and then you got the I don't know where you go with this, just the chin on the wall.
Yeah.
Just depressed, and I'm going to.
Just a French bulldog.
Yeah.
Is not getting enough attention. You take a look at the largest opener losses for the Gators. 87 against Miami, 27. 1908, 24 points to Mercer.
And now the most points given up by Florida in a home opener ever.
Ever. As an ever.
1st and goal. Lagway trying to get his first touchdown pass, but Arlis Boardingham couldn't reach out.
Well, important to point out, too, though, Joe, what's been impressive with DJ Lagway here, he's leading what's looked like the best drive of the game against Miami's first-team defense.
That's a great point.
Miami has not subbed out a lot of their players. So the progressive pylon cam here giving you another look at just how close Boardingham came to making this a touchdown. But it's been a nice drive. We've seen a little bit of poise from the true freshman quarterback here in the last few minutes.
Webb trying to spin his way in for a touchdown. And it is a score for Florida. And their first points. I mean, he's unimpressed by that.
I mean, look what's in your right hand. Find the positives.
Their first points since that 71-yard touchdown run that came in the second quarter.
Well, Trey Webb is a guy that they're hoping can take some of the workload off of Montrell Johnson. Nice job spinning, finding the plane and breaking it with the football. Good looking drive, good looking 9-play drive there, Joe.
So Webb with the 1-yard touchdown. Probably play a little bit of a bigger role this year. Mostly saw special teams in recent years. A 9-play drive for DJ Lagway, the true freshman quarterback. I believe the officials are actually going to take a look at this Trayon Webb run. But nonetheless, listen, you can size up DJ Lagway a bit with what we just saw on the drive.
Yeah, lots of poise, and you saw the arm town, a few really nice looking slant throws to Trey Wilson from the pocket, but also his ability to improvise when things break down running it. This last handoff to Webb, he spins off a tackler. Right hand goes down, it's just the palm. It's no forearm, no elbow, so he's still up. For the left hand, I mean. And then doesn't look like the knee was down before he broke the plane with the ball.
And obviously you have to have the video evidence to prove it. And when you see the defensive and offensive linemen engaged there, it doesn't give you that clear picture, and consider that the ruling on the field is a touchdown. And if that stands, it'll be the 1-yard run for Trayon Webb. He's the 4-star recruit out of Trinity Christian, just up the road in Jacksonville. That's a challenging angle as well. Great body control.
After further review, the rule on the field stands. Touchdown.
And it is a touchdown for the Gators. So DJ Lagway, the true freshman quarterback, manages the drive. 9 plays, 58 yards, just over 4 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think one thing Billy Napier and this coaching staff is going to be looking for throughout the end of this game is how do the offense respond to DJ Lagway being in the game? Can he galvanize them the way that Cam Ward has done the Miami offense? And very impressive in this kind of environment, in this situation, this early. DJ Lagway in only a 2nd drive in a Gator uniform, leading him down for a score against the starting defense of Miami.
And then Trey smacks it through. And see, concrete wall guy's now smiling, but the only reason is because his phone's blowing up because we were taking shots of him.
Yeah, he got a really good DM he was hoping for.
That's right.
Somebody
so
swipe.
concrete wall guy isn't as sad anymore because he got some national airtime. Hey, Florida and Miami, interesting moment happened in 2003. Devin Hester's first time he touched the ball in college football.
Yeah, it took special teams coordinators a while to figure out not to kick the ball to Devin Hester. What do you have, 20 return touchdowns in the National Football League, the best to ever do it.
Oh, by far.
And he's here in the building too, Joe.
Yeah, he's with Katie.
First and foremost, congratulations on being a recent inductee to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I know you know this rivalry well. You played in 2 of these games, both in bowl games. How would you describe it?
Just a Florida atmosphere. Growing up in South Florida, where you have a lot of teammates, a lot of friends that play for Florida, as well as UM. So once you get to this college collegiate level, the same mentality. We're battling it out for the best team in Florida.
Your first ever collegiate touch was that 97-yard kickoff return against Florida in the Orange Bowl. What do you remember about that moment?
My first time playing in the Orange Bowl, and first time touching the ball in the Orange Bowl. I took a 97-yard kickoff return back against you-know-who, the Florida Gators. So that's my first time welcoming to the college level.
Can you still take one back today?
Most definitely.
What's been your impressions of Cam Ward today? He's lit it up.
Cam is really impressive. The poise that he has. I was telling a lot of guys out here, look like this is 10th year playing college football. Everything is so slow motion. He's calm. You don't never see him get upset, never get rattled. I'm looking for a great season with this guy here.
What do you think that the expectations could be given how they played today?
Sky's the limit. You know, as a former Hurricane and as a fan, we've been looking for a team like this for a while now. And to come out and see what these guys put on today was very impressive. And I can't wait to see the next games.
Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Devin Hester knows the guy who was most impressive was Cam Ward, who's still in the game here.
Yeah, he is. Well, I think he'd be out of the game had DJ Lagway not led that touchdown drive. 21 points, crazier things have happened. Remember, if you're Miami and what happened late in the game against Georgia Tech a year ago, you know, that's something that kind of lingers. And I know the situation's a little bit different, but you'd want to keep this thing in hand. I don't think you're going to see Cam Ward throw it again. I think you're going to see a lot of handoffs to the 230-pound running back beside him, Damian Martinez.
Martinez, the big bruiser from Oregon State. He was there for a couple years, ran for over 2,100 yards playing for Oregon State. Here's Ward scrambling around. Casually slings it downfield and gets it complete inside the 20. He is almost too relaxed, Jesse. It's unbelievable.
Nonchalant. And his body language reminds me a little bit of Jaden Daniels. That time, again, going to his left, side-arming it, back to Elijah Arroyo. And this coaching staff is staying aggressive. They're still letting Ward throw it down the field. Whether he's been in the pocket, Joe, whether he's been outside, it's looked really, really good. Outside of that one interception, he's been virtually flawless in this game.
351 yards and 3 touchdowns, and showing these Mahomes-esque arm angles time and again. Short pitch to Martinez. Martinez looking for something into the boundary. Not going to find much. Just goes ahead for a yard before he's driven out.
Yeah, and the clock keeps running, and that's a veteran run by a veteran running back there, understanding the situation. You're trying to bleed the clock, not running out of bounds, not stopping it. You know, Joe, you're a boxing pundit. You're an expert. You're the best play-by-play guy in the business. These big body runs by the Canes, right? These 2-3 yard gains in the first quarter. It was like body blows.
Body shots. Yeah, they're body shots. They take your legs away.
And you're kind of counting on the fact late in games, those 2- and 3 yard gains become 7- and 8 yard gains.
As we often say when we're calling a fight ringside and you continually are taking to the body, you're breaking a man's will, right? You're breaking a defense's will, desire to tackle, desire to engage. Great point by you. As Martinez muscles ahead.
The pile's just moving a little bit differently now, and it's big bodies up front, but it's also 230-pound running backs, and Fletcher and Martinez toting the rock as well. This is going to be a problem for defenses all year long facing Miami. Your physicality and your will is going to be tested.
And much like in a fight, if you make those deposits in the early and middle rounds, if you commit to the power running game in the first and second and third quarter, you get the payoff in the later rounds. You get the payoff in the fourth.
You got to be patient.
You deposit into the bank with the body shots. You deposit into the bank with the power running game. Here's 3rd and 5. Ward out of the backfield, threw a little behind Damian Martinez, so it goes incomplete.
But I mean, it's so nice as an offense to be able to say, you know what, we can go out and we can make deposits early.
Yes.
We can run the football, and we've got some talent in the backfield, and we've recruited well on the offensive line. And oh yeah, by the way, we've got a guy whose Heisman Trophy campaign just kicked off today here in Gainesville.
Hey, listen, that's a real conversation. It did. And I know, listen, it's way too early. But you think about their schedule, you think about the conference, you think about where they're going to be lining up potentially for the college football playoff and how special a year it could be with the talent, as Borregales will put it through. He's going to be a guy.
If he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy, he's going to be a guy. Cam Ward comes over from Washington State, and he's put 41 points up against a Florida team that felt very good about the additions they made to this roster, felt very good about the coaching staff being enhanced with Ron Roberts as the co-DC, with Will Harris coming over the coach of defensive backs, and it's the most points allowed in a home opener, and they added to it, 41.
And that was the side of the ball that they had to improve the most. Poor tackling, busts in coverage, inconsistent pass rush, things that really bit the Gators a year ago, showing its face today. There's Mike Elko, new head coach, Texas A&M, arriving at Kyle Field for his inaugural game as the head coach of the Aggies, and what a challenge taking on a Notre Dame Fighting Irish team that a lot of people believe will be in the inaugural 12-team college football playoff.
As he faces his former quarterback at Duke. So like, these are the two guys that they had the success at Duke, and then they go off to take the next big steps in their careers. One goes to coach Texas A&M, the other one goes to play at Notre Dame. Now they have to play each other.
And they've both been having to answer questions. Yeah. Who's got the bigger advantage? Is it Mike Elko because he recruited Riley Leonard or knows what he's good at doing at the quarterback position and how to affect him? Or is it Riley Leonard that knows Mike Elko's defensive schemes, having practiced against it all the time? In this game, it's going to be a cat and mouse matchup.
There's Jaden Baugh, the true freshman from Atlanta, who they're very high on his future as a running back and kick returner on the return. Yeah, Mike Elko said, one of the quotes he gave this week, he goes, listen, it is interesting and it is weird to be going up against Riley Leonard, and it is not really something that I want to be doing, but that is the case. That is the primetime game right here on ABC, as Christian Kirk will be calling the action. Number 7 at number 20, Texas A&M, a Texas A&M team that, remember, listen, say what you want about Jimbo Fisher and what happened at the end there. The core talent there within that program is elite.
Yeah.
You can't just undo the recruiting and the attraction of that program.
No, and I think Connor Wigman at quarterback is a great example of that. And a guy that, if he can stay healthy, it can be special offensively.
Short pitch to Ball. And Ball cuts back and goes upfield.
They've got 2 good-looking athletes in the backfield at Florida, both true freshmen. And we talked about DJ Lagway at 240 pounds. How about Jaden Ball at 235 pounds, a guy that the Miami Hurricanes recruited? Bama, Georgia, Michigan, defending national champion, all wanted. Number 2 and number 13, those are 2 guys that you might see lined up beside each other for years to come here in Gainesville.
Here is DJ Lagway. And DJ Lagway slides down just short of that line to gain. So DJ Lagway, who guided them down the field with the touchdown drive, just goes for 7 yards there. He has 20 yards rushing. He's got 31 passing, but he got great support when he came on the field from these fans. They believe he is the entire future of the Florida program, and he's getting time right away. And he was hit as he throws that time, and it goes for an interception. That's incredible that Jaden Harris was laying on his back, and the ball just happened to land on him as Barrow got in and made the hit on Lagway. The ball literally landed on Jaden Harris for an interception.
Well, it's a really interesting blocking scheme from the Gators. They're trying to get their center all the way outside to block Barrow, and Jake Slaughter's not able to get there. Nice job by Barrow exploding out of his stance and getting penetration into the backfield, getting the hand up. He forces the errant throw. And also a really nice catch by Harris on his back. Are they still doing the turnover chain, Miami? I don't.
They do whatever they want at this point.
I mean, it's just, okay.
And that tells you, as you see the Florida fans heading to the portal, this was a complete sellout. This was the buzz for weeks and weeks. Get a ticket for Florida and Miami in Gainesville.
I don't know, man, Joe. It's like, just when you look at Miami, maybe year 3 could be a magical year for Mario Cristobal here in Miami. I mean, like, they've got the talent through high school and through the portal. He's got 2 coordinators that are now in the 2nd year running their systems. There's a little bit more familiarity. They've got the schedule. You think about last year, Steve Sarkisian, Kalen DeBoer taking their teams to the college football playoff in their 3rd years. Urban Meyer won a national title in his 3rd year at Ohio State. Les Miles in 2007 did.
Yes.
Brian Kelly went to the national championship game in his 3rd year at Notre Dame. I mean, that year has been special. We've seen it before.
And when you look at this team in the trenches, that is where I look at them and say they are different. He's an offensive line guy, so you know what you're always getting there. But the defensive line and the additions there, and we will talk more about that when we come up and really size up Miami on the national front. It's the 2-minute timeout from here at the Swamp. Sebastian has had himself a really, really good time as the Miami fans are celebrating deep into the afternoon here at the Swamp. 41-17 in this infrequently played rivalry game between the Canes and the Gators. All Hurricanes fans wanted to see what Cam Ward would look like. Well, how's 350 yards and 3 touchdown passes look? Or you can add to the yardage with Lofton. Elijah Lofton. This is an athletic freak out of Las Vegas, the true freshman H-back who's so versatile, so strong. One of the top-ranked tight ends in the country coming out of high school, and he gave you a glimpse there, Jesse.
Yeah, from the powerhouse Bishop Gorman High School in Vegas, as you mentioned. And I mean, they're loaded at receiver, they're loaded at running back, they're good on the offensive line, and you've seen Elijah Arroyo, you've seen Cam McCormick, and now Elijah Lofton. getting involved at the tight end position too. Lots of competitive depth. Not just good starters, but good backups, good third stringers. When they come in the game, there's not a lot of drop off.
Jesse, they have over 500 yards of offense against this Ron Roberts defense. Ron Roberts, one of the veteran defensive coordinators. Austin Armstrong still on the staff, his second season, the co-DCs. And they felt very good about a lot of the additions they made to this defensive group. And Miami has gone for 524 yards of total offense here on the road at Florida.
I think the most disappointing thing for Florida in this, from a defensive standpoint, is just it's a lot of the same mistakes from a season ago, Joe. A lot of it hasn't been cleaned up or fixed. It's early in the year. You've got a game against Sanford next season where you can try to clean up some of this before a pretty talented Texas A&M team comes back to Gainesville. But on both sides of the ball, there's a lot to clean up if you're Billy Napier and this coaching staff.
Timeout used with 1:08 to play.
And this is the last 5 games of last year. And a big reason for that was they were playing with a lot of true freshmen on the field. You know, true freshmen accounted for 25% of the Gator defensive snaps a year ago, and that showed up on film. But they're now older, and they've now been in the system a little bit longer, and they're expected to play better. And obviously they had a massive challenge facing off against one of the best quarterbacks in the entire country. But penalties, missed tackles, busts, not enough pass rush. There's a lot that needs to improve if the Gators are going to be competitive with that schedule.
A.J. Allen is going to close things out at running back for Miami. A reminder, you got Notre Dame and Texas A&M coming up. Spectacular opening week of college football. Boy, what a fun time we had in Ireland, by the way. I mean, week 0 ever been better than that with the Georgia Tech big win against Florida State. And now you roll that right into this week 1.
And a phenomenal environment here at the Swamp. It was rocking early. You can't say enough about the Miami Hurricanes, though. And Cam Ward, and the thing I'm going to take away from this performance from him, Joe, it's not just the throwing and the talent and his ability to run, but the poise and how he handled situations, right? The way he responded after throwing an interception, leading his team down for a touchdown, how he played with a 2-minute situation at the end of the first half. Scrambling around, not throwing it away, but throwing a beautiful touchdown pass at the end of the third quarter. The moment was never too big for him. He was able to handle this crowd at the Swamp. It's hard to imagine a better first game, and Mario Cristobal has got to be very pleased, not just with Cam Ward, but his football team really in all 3 phases.
You know, for a few weeks you and I have talked about this game and said one of these 2 coaches is going to walk away from this game and feel like, yep, we've got this thing where we want it to go. That's Mario Cristobal right now. You look at the talent, you look at the performance today, you look at how this schedule shapes up, and you think long term, he now has it right where it should be.
And they have the mentality because they answered the bell. They had to have a sense of urgency in this game. Again, a lot of people believe that maybe this was the toughest game on Miami's schedule. They showed up ready to go from the very opening whistle.
Katie's with the star of the day.
Thanks, Tess. Cam, you are as advertised and then some. How would you say your first game as a Miami Hurricane went?
It was good. Both sides of the ball came with it. Shout out to the defense. They played good all day. I gave up a couple points, but it was a good team win. We came out prepared. I feel like this is the most prepared that I've been in my college career, and I'm just excited that we go 1-0.
You can obviously sling it. You've got a swagger about you. You can make some unconventional things happen. How would you describe the mentality that you play with?
Just a mentality to not care. I mean, you only get a certain amount of times to play football, and I'm going to take advantage of every opportunity I get. It's something that I wanted to do out of high school is come play in the SEC, and I got a chance to do that. I'm 1-0. So, you know, all glory to God. You know, I'm just blessed to be here.
You told me this week that you guys were going to win a couple games because of the guys in the trenches. What did you think of the play from both lines?
Them boys playing today. O-line really didn't give up with no sack today. That one sack, that was on me. That was a bad pocket movement. D-line came with it. I told Ruben Bay, I said, you want me to take the ball first or you want it? He said, give it to me. They went on defense, got 3 now. So, you know, it was good, both sides of the ball in trenches. But the boys, they've been going there since January, so I'm just happy to be behind the O-line.
This is a statement win. What kind of message do you think this sends about Miami football?
Just a message that we're going to be physical. I mean, we on to the next game. I'm gonna celebrate this for 30 minutes. As soon as I get on that flight, I'm on the FAMU. So, you know, I'm ready for next week. Got to start preparing tonight.
Enjoy those 30 minutes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That guy is locked in. He said the most prepared I've ever been. What a great statement about his coaches to say that. 385 yards and 3 touchdowns for Cam Ward. Miami looks real good this year, folks. 41-17 is your final. For Katie and Jesse, I'm Joe Tessitore, asking you to enjoy the rest of your night with A&M and Notre Dame as we get you back to our college football scoreboard studio with Kevin and Booger. Gentlemen, take it away.
Tess, thank you so much. Great work from you, Jesse, and Katie, and we are getting ready